Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 188, Memorial Day edition, Memorial Day weekend, presented by Hair Club. And this is the perfect day, Cam, for anybody who's been to Hair Club over the course of the last year to go to the pool, to like shake your head when you get out of the water and show that hair off.
Yeah, man. I actually went to the pool. I went to the country club pool the other day. And, you know, I'm not like a pool guy, you know, because it's kind of weird if you don't have kids to go to a pool. But we all went up there. Our whole like street went up there. And it was cool, man. It was cool. I felt confident. I am a little heavy, and I still took my shirt off. And I'm like, but my hair looked okay. And, you know, I got to get my top of my head fucking tan sometimes, man. You know? So
you tan your head?
Well, when you're outside, it just comes naturally from the sun, Andy. But it's just nice to, like, not wear a hat, jump in the pool. I don't have a pool yet. Like, they're so expensive. They're on back order. You can't get a goddamn pool if you want one. You're going to get probably ripped off. You know, it's just not worth putting a pool in right now.
I don't know what kind of people you're dealing with, dude. That's not the people that I deal with.
I think that's as a whole. I think as a whole, they're just backed up. Like even like the guys,
you're not allowed to have a pool in your yard in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I am. Yep, you got to be 100 feet. No, you got to be 100 feet away from the course. We have a gigantic backyard, so there's plenty of room. And eventually, we're gonna get a motherfucking pedal. But that's a goddamn commitment, and I ain't ready yet. So I went up to the fucking neighborhood pool, and it was quite lovely.
Okay. There's a couple of different type of pool owners that are out there. And listen, we went to a pool party on, Friday night. It was a great party, a Saturday night, actually. It was a great party. People like showing up left and right. I hadn't been to a party like that in quite some time, Cam. You know, hanging out around the pool. It's evening time. It was actually a beautiful night. The weather here has just been fantastic.
Did you have your shirt on?
Great weather.
Did you have your shirt on? That? Did you swim with a shirt on?
Well, it wasn't like a swim party. There's a pool party and there's a swim party. This was like evening, you know, like going over there.
Yeah, all right. That's cool. Yeah. I like that shit.
Yeah. But I've looked at swimming pools. Like some people have a nightmare experience owning a pool where they're spending thousands and thousands of dollars all the time, like on repairs. And I think a lot of these pool companies kind of scam you. They tell these old people, like my father-in-law, man, they've got a great pool. And every time somebody comes over to his pool to do some type of inspection, they tell him he's got a broken pipe here, broken pipe there. And I'm like, I think they're scamming you.
But what do you have in your house that people don't do that with, right? They rip you off. They try to rip. It's hard to find. That's why if you find a good handyman, you got to fucking keep him in your back pocket, or her, which is usually a dude, but whatever. But if you find a guy that could just do anything and he's fair and he's on time and he's trustworthy, they're hard to come by, and you got to keep those guys around. But the pool I've
got a handy woman who comes over, fixes shit.
She's a handy woman. What are you doing today? I'm barbecuing today. I'm gonna go up to the clubhouse, have a couple cocktails.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like golf a little bit. I'm gonna put American flags up everywhere.
Everywhere. It's not 4th of July, although today is the day to honor the military and those who have fallen. You know, they used to call this Decoration Day back in the day, Cam.
Back in the day. Yep. But now it's I still like to wave the flag around a little bit, but 4th of July is where I'm going to put all the little flags everywhere. Mm-hmm. Today, kind of, but I'm going to barbecue today, do my shit.
Cam, you guys want to come over? I've got some barbecue out. Listen, I'm making my seafood stew today, although I wish I would have made it on a different day because it's
define that
very, very
seafood
warm out
stew.
today.
What's in that motherfucker? I hope you got some fatty fucking lobster tail, fat salmon, ass. Salmon, okay. Scallops, shrimp.
I've got shrimp too. Now the tuna that I have and the halibut and like the stuff, like I'm not putting that in the stew. But the tuna I have, the tuna steaks, I'm just going to sear those bad boys up on the Traeger and probably enter that in a competition. I've been looking at these barbecue competitions, Cam. Like there's competitions everywhere.
You'll get your ass kicked. These cats know what the fuck they're doing, dude.
Everybody knows what they're doing.
Everybody knows what they're doing. No, I think I barbecue all the time, and I watch these guys, and I watch it somewhat religiously.
What makes them so good at it?
Little details, the right fire, the right everything. Now you get a Traeger; it's pretty easy to keep that. I still go on a charcoal, my little Weber, because I just like to fuck with it. I like to, if you're good at barbecuing on that little Weber, controlling the heat, doing this, doing that, you could cook on anything. And so, but man, there's like I'm still I haven't had a dinner party yet where people come over and I'm literally cooking for them. I cook for Kate and maybe my neighbors here and there or whatever if they come over. But I'm not, even then I kind of get nerve-wracked about it because everybody's different, man. It's hard to cook for people now. Imagine you came over and had to cook for your fucking high maintenance ass.
Hey,
you wouldn't eat 3/4 of the shit I had out, and you'd be like,
I'm waiting for you to invite us actually over. Maybe we'll come over for 4th of July this year. They do fireworks out where you guys are at?
Yeah, in my backyard, dude. They got fucking huge fireworks. I remember putting a post out last year, and I was so wasted. And I'm like, oh, God. The next day I looked at it, I'm like, oh, God. I had to delete it. But the fireworks were right there. Yeah.
I was in Tahoe last year for 4th of July. It was amazing. And I'll be out of town this year. Actually, I'll just be coming back on the 4th, maybe the 5th.
Man, there's some nasty ass accidents down at the Lake of the Ozarks. So Lake of the Ozarks, all y'all up there. It's a big lake in Missouri. I grew up down there. It's crazy. It's a party lake of all party lakes. Like literally, there's $1 million boats everywhere, multi-million-dollar houses everywhere. You got Hoosiers, you got wealthy people, you got all the wealthy people in the Midwest congregate down to the Lake of the Ozarks. It's gigantic.
That's not true, dude.
Andy, it's 100. Go look at
the wealthy people in the Midwest.
Yeah, all the construction guys that own in Iowa, that own farms, that have big ass boats that go down the lake and keep their boat there.
You know, I've never been there still ever.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I went down.
It's not your type.
You know what I'm doing today?
What?
I'm going to the Racket Club, and I think they're gonna have some music, probably have some pool games.
Hey, that's got to be the nerdiest fucking club ever. Your Creve Coeur Racket Club. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
fun. They fucking party. They fucking party at that Racket Club.
Hey, we're allowed to bring a guest, dude. I was gonna see if you and Kate wanted to come.
But here's the point where I was getting at. There's been some nasty fucking accidents, man.
What kind of accidents? Like boat accidents?
Boat accidents. Boats down. Fires. Just crazy people drowning. Shit like that. Did you hear about
drowning? Like, what do you mean, dude? This sounds terrible.
I know. Like kids like falling off the jet ski. Fucking, I know, Andy. It's chaotic. It's crazy down there, dude. That's why there's a lot of dipshits. There's a lot of kids that drive fast fuck boats down there because their mommy and back and daddy have their fucking lake house down there, and they go down there with their buddies, like I used to do with my buddies, and they take these expensive ass boats out, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Mm-hmm. And then you got other dipshits down there that literally don't know what the fuck. They rent a boat. They're like, oh, kind of like you, like what you would do, wearing like an orange life jacket. Like anytime a boat goes by and everybody has an orange shit life jacket on, you know they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That would be you. And so there's just dipshits everywhere. And then you got the skilled old school like fishermen that grew up in the 50s down there that just creep in the morning and go fishing and get the fuck out of there. It's crazy, man. So somebody texted me, Andy, and they said that they are from up in Alberta. And he goes, Cam, I'm making a trip checking out the Lake of the Ozarks. I'm bringing my family. And I go, how old are your kids? Like, 6. I'm like, oh, fuck. I go, check out Table Rock Lake instead. It's way more family friendly. You're just down there too, Andy. Table Rock Lake, you could take your family. There's not going to be big old boats that are fucking plowing and they're going to, crazy.
Yeah, but I will say
it's way safer. What?
But I will say, I mean,
what are you going to say?
Well, I hear people say all the time they're going down to the lake and all that. Like, I've never been. They call it the lake. Like, what lake are you talking about?
It's the Ozarks when they call it the lake.
The lake. Yeah. Anyway, people take their kids. Listen, this guy in Alberta.
Yeah.
Contact me, dude. Just come through me so I can help you out because people take their kids down there all the time.
I know they do.
You know that.
I know, but here's
kids
my point.
Grow up on that. Kids grow up on that lake.
Here's the point, though. If I'm comparing the two lakes, you could actually rent a boat with your family at Table Rock and be okay. You try to rent a boat at Lake of the Ozarks, unless you have a motherfucking driver, which costs you out the wazoo, then you ain't getting nowhere. And you're like going to be fucking swamped and it's just too much. Pulling into some of these places, there's waves everywhere. It's chaotic. You're just not ready for that. So go down to Table Rock and you could chill. That's what I'm saying. Of course you can go down the lake, but talk to some people. If they don't know what they're doing down there, they're like, yeah, well, we just sat on the dock all the time because, well, it was so packed that you can't drive a boat. And if you do, you're going to look like a dipshit because it's going to be a piece of shit boat. And then you're going to get rocked and the kids are going to be like, ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam.
Cam, I couldn't imagine getting in a boat accident though. Like as fast as I was going on that boat last year on Tahoe, like when he was like had the boat going way too fast.
That's why. Listen,
and my kids are like hopping around. I thought they were going to fall out. Andy, I couldn't imagine hitting something at that rate of speed with my 36-footer.
And the 36-footer could plow through some shit. It's a fucking big old boat, not too big. And it's 36-footer at the lake this weekend. It's getting fucked up. Just so all y'all know. And you never, ever, ever want to get into a boat with a dipshit driver that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like if Andy's like, let's go for a boat ride and he's driving, you don't get in that goddamn boat. He don't know what the fuck he's doing. I would never go into, I remember driving my cousin who just started and I'm like, fuck. But now you just learn sometimes, but you just don't do it because it's so fucking dangerous.
Well, see, now I'm kind of glad they have the boat police out there.
Well, of course they're going to have the state. They got the goddamn stadies, boy, and they will roll you over and they'll take a speed trap. And they'll trap all these guys in the middle of the fucking thing where other boats are in the back, and they'll funnel you in and go one by one. They'll like a DWI check.
And you can't get out of it.
You cannot get, and you have to funnel you. They funnel you in, and they have Augie Bush banging prostitutes. I don't know.
They have a search warrant. They can go on your boat and just look through your shit. Because listen, in my Chris Craft that I had, Andy, which was very expensive, it was a 36-footer. We had hidden compartments in that motherfucker. Okay, I had hidden.
You don't think they know? You don't think they know?
Hidden compartments. They didn't know where anything was.
You didn't have anything cool on there anyway. They're going to be fucking open-eyed about. But they have their, just like they do in the fucking roads, man. They'll have DUI checks. What do you mean? But they'll funnel, and there's so many.
This place sounds cool. I didn't have any of that in Tahoe.
Yeah, but that's
none of it.
Tahoe's classy, dude. Tahoe's like not as, it's sparse. Like there's not.
Could you imagine going on a boat, enjoying your weekend, and you get like arrested, or you get a ticket that you have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for? You're just having a leisure time. This is not the lake experience I'm looking for. Ken.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's too crazy down there. Here's another thing that happens. If you have a boat, and I'm talking about boats, it's Memorial Day weekend. Love all y'all. Thinking about all the vets and all that, man. Fuck yeah. We love all you guys. I'm waving that flag proud. But I'm telling you, when you go down there, man, you could have a boat and you don't have towing insurance. Andy, your boat, look, boats fuck up all the fuck time. I was always on the river, so I was able to come back because I always went up the river, and you're always able to come back if you fucking blow your engine out, you throw a rod, whatever. Got a funny story about that. But if you're at a lake and you're fucking way up river, you're going up to Niagara, you find a cove, you go to Tonka, and that motherfucker don't start, you're going to call the towing service. It's going to cost you $5 fucking grand. I mean, no, like $1,000 an hour to tow you.
Well, you get some boat insurance. My guy. But
then you pay $25. You get, if you have it, you pay $25 a month, and you get free towing. And my cousin fucked up, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And he looked at it, it was like $3,200 where he had to go. And so he sat on. He finally had service on his boat, and he got the insurance, and it went through. So he's only paying $25. But that kind of shit, Andy.
Well, listen, at the Racket Club today, like we won't have any of that, but they'll have like little games and stuff like that where like the dads can like jump in and like bob for beers and stuff like that.
Fucking awesome, man. I bet you they fucking party there at the Creve Coeur Racket Club. God. You couldn't pay me to go in that motherfucking place.
Oh yeah, I could. You'd actually like it, actually.
I know. Okay? You're right, Danny.
You know, actually, they've got.
Those are my kind of people.
They've got great food. They've got, full on, like, it's not a cash place, like, so they just put it on your tab. You know how?
I know. It's
so
a
my kids,
but a nerdy one.
My kids like run up there. They serve my kids. They'll give them whatever they want. I'm like, please stop doing that.
Isn't that nice? Look, it's
then I have it on my bill at the end of the month. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, man. You go up there with your buddies that aren't a member there, and everything's on their tab. But that's what you do for people, though. You entertain people. That's why when people come in town, you have a luxury of a cool country club. You take the fucking buddies up there and show them a good time. You take the hockey guys up there and fucking go, but they ain't going to the Creve Coeur Racket Club. You ask any of the boys, you want to come here? They're gonna be like, fuck
they'd go. They'd go.
It's good for the
kids. Yesterday I had to go buy some new patio furniture because the tornado just destroyed our chairs. Our EF0 completely destroyed our chairs.
Tornado.
It destroyed our fence. It destroyed our lanterns. I'm still finding glass. On the grass, man, from the lanterns.
You got cheap shit at your house, dude. Nothing moved at my house. Everything's fucking locked in place out here.
You weren't in the path. I wasn't in the path
like you were. Yeah, it skips the wealthy part out here. It hops over us.
In all seriousness, I was in the direct path because I was reading where it went. Like it went right to the Chaminade High School, which is right in my backyard, right in the path. And it's amazing that like we didn't have more damage, Cam, in this EF0.
It didn't clink down. It didn't stay down. It just kind of it was more of a headwind, homie.
I understand. So yesterday, we had to go buy new patio furniture, dude, and the sales guy, like he's chirping me in front of my wife the whole time. He's just like, we're looking at different chairs, like this one, that one. Like I didn't want the one that he was trying to push us to get. It was like way more expensive. He's trying to throw in like a free side table. And I'm like, the side table would be nice. I'd take the free side table, but I don't need to spend that much to get a free side table. I'll go buy a side table somewhere else for cheaper. And he's calling me thrifty nickel to my wife. He's like, are you going to get what you want? Are you going to just listen to thrifty nickel over here?
Oh, I mean, God, Andy, why do you get owned so much by people? I'd be like, what, motherfucker?
Oh, my God.
I spend motherfucking money. I don't want the goddamn side table, you fuck.
So Jesus, I was trying to like,
dude. Why do you
I was trying to work out deals. I was like, listen, you buy an advertisement on my podcast, and then
no wonder he's calling you that. No wonder. Everything's business. Can't you go somewhere and just? And I know it like benefits me and stuff like, but it's like God, it's always on your mind. Can't you just go somewhere and buy something?
But he's talking. He's literally talking shit. He's like, are you going to do this? Or are you going to listen to the husband over here? Like flat out just crushing me.
I don't like that, homie. I ain't going to lie to you. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't want the side table, you fuck.
And my kids are there,
like, in front of Ty? Jesus Christ. Put your foot down. In front of Chloe. She's like, geez, stick up for yourself, Dad. Have some dignity.
It was just Ivy, actually. Just Ivy. Ivy's like swinging
now she's
one of like the bench, swings, the porch swings. She's over there. Ty wouldn't have put up with that shit. He probably
he would go fuck yourself. He's got to stick up for you.
Oh my God.
6 years old.
So what's on the barbecue pit today, though? In all seriousness, like what are you putting on there?
I'm gonna do pork belly, and I'm gonna do beef motherfucking ribs. Dino motherfucker. Fat ass fucking beef ribs, baby. I'm gonna spray them mugs down with apple juice, and I'm gonna let them smoke for hours.
That's
and they're
what
gonna
you're
be
gonna
fucking badass. Huh? Yeah,
you're gonna you spray them down.
And I'm drinking Bloody Marys. Mm-hmm. I'm getting my motherfucking mind right. I'm glad I didn't have to meet up with you today. It's nice to do it in the basement. Kate and I might golf. We're gonna listen to music. I might go to the motherfucking pool. I don't know. That's what we're doing.
Do you understand? I was with you recently, and I did a little bit of day drinking with you, okay? And recently, and Cam, that ruined my day. I mean, I couldn't function the rest of the day.
That's what normal people are like, Andy. You're normal. That's not like.
I was like, oh, this is not a good idea.
But you had a couple with Sonny when we had Sonny on.
Yes.
Jesus, you are a light. You get owned with everything you do. God.
Hey, we got Oscar Sundquist coming up, though. We can throw that out there. Not today, not on this edition.
Yeah, we got Mark goddamn Messier, baby. We get big dicks. All y'all remember that. Andy and I get motherfucking big dicks, okay? And it is Andy that calls them, and it's all good. And they come on, and this cat came on for an hour and a half, and he goddamn called us back. Wait till you hear this.
Can I tell you how it went down?
Yeah.
Because Cam, like he and I had texted back and forth, and maybe talked once. I don't know. We were texting back and forth for sure, like several months ago. And then he just kind of went dark on me, whatever. Listen, Mark Messier can do whatever the fuck he wants.
He can do what he wants, Andy.
He's very busy.
The guy at Sears owned you. Like, you don't think Mess is going to do it?
It wasn't Sears. Suburban Leisure was the name of the place.
Suburban Leisure.
But Cam, the owner, I asked for the owner, and he's like probably 80 years old. He's got the like pocket protector with all the pens. Yeah. He's got tools everywhere. Yeah. Dude, he works his ass off.
Yeah, respect that.
And we were talking business. I was picking his brain. We're talking about all this different stuff. He built the whole thing on his own.
Yeah.
He's like,
those are guys you talk to.
The whole restaurant, or the whole restaurant, the whole shop, the whole store. He built it on his own, dude.
All y'all out there, you always pick these guys' brains, these owners that built up a business. Always be a fucking sponge. Always talk to them. Don't do what Andy does and try to get money out of everybody. But like as far as talking and understand the business and how they did it, everybody's different. Mm-hmm. I love doing that, man.
We were talking advertising, and he said some products are visual, some aren't. So when you're selling certain things, if it has to be a visual, you can't spend money advertising on non-visual. We were just talking radio versus television.
That's interesting. Yeah. Food and stuff like that are great for radio. Mm-hmm. Like you can be like, because you can be like this, like that pizza we got, that's healthy. Yeah. I'm actually doing healthy fucking things when I eat pizza like that. I got my pizza oven, badass, by the way, Andy. I can put that mug up, hot as fuck. And I like eating that pizza. When I explain pizza to people, they automatically get hungry. Mm-hmm. When certain people could do that, I have a gift.
Yeah,
I know what good goddamn food is.
Listen, Andy. All our sponsors.
I know what good food is.
All our sponsors, people want. Listen, people are hitting me up left and right for those rollerblades too, from Mars Blade, asking me if we have a discount code. I'm going to see if we can find one for y'all because I'm going to get so many messages coming in, man. I can't respond to everybody. I'm going to look to see if we can get a promo code on those Mars Blade.
I might be cruising around the neighborhood with no shirt on, stick handle. I might have to do that again. Although I got to get a little bit more tan, and I probably have to have 3 days where I starve myself, and just slim down a little bit. And
is that all it takes? You think 3 days it'll show a difference?
I could starve myself for 3 days. I need a little bit of help with maybe some things, but I could starve myself for 3 days and dramatically drop in LBs. And then I'll have the confidence with a little tan to go cruise around with that biscuit puck, baby. Toe dragging cougars, walking their dog. That's what I'm going to do.
Watching something the other night. There's a couple, they're trying to have a baby, so they can't do anything for 7 days. They can't have any caffeine. You can't have sex. You can't do anything. You got to be completely pure. So you no alcohol, nothing.
Yank.
What? Could you do this? 7 days, dude. You got to be.
Why do I need to do that? I ain't getting pregnant.
Cleansed out.
Although there is an emoji with a pregnant dude, but I looked into it because if I can't get Kate pregnant, I was like, what if she can get me pregnant? And then I'm like, that'd be good. But she's gonna get pregnant, maybe. Tried last night. See what's up. But I have to stop drinking. I ain't getting pregnant. Why do I have to stop?
You got to be fully cleaned out.
My sperm is all fucked up anyway. It's probably for the best I don't get her pregnant. It's probably God saying, you know what? We don't need another one of you. We don't need you, especially a girl version of you. Oh, God. I think it's like for society's sake, just don't get anybody. I think that's the Lord saying it, Andy.
Maybe.
That's the Lord.
Hey. So Messier, let me just explain how this went down. So all of a sudden I get a text at 5 a.m. and it's from Mark Messier. And he's like, hey, what's up? You want to do this today? And I was like, oh, well, and he said, I'll give you 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh man, 15 minutes. But it's Mark Messier.
This ain't TSN.
Yeah, it's Mark Messier. So you just, you don't say no. You're just like, okay, well, how about we do this tomorrow? And I'm like, can we get maybe 30 minutes out of you? Is it possible? And he's like, okay, but here's my hard time. I got to be out at noon, whatever he said.
Yeah.
We're doing the interview, and all of a sudden he's like, guys, I got to go. I look down at the clock, and it's 12:11 his time. I'm like, oh man, he's got to go. But we weren't done with the interview. I'm like, okay, it is what it is, though, man. We got a good 30 minutes with him, whatever.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. But then he says, he's like, hey, let me do this call, and I'm going to call you right back. I'm like, what? All right, you call us right back, whatever. He did his call. He said a branding call. What do you think that entails, Cam, with Mark?
Something expensive, branding? Something important. When you're important, you have important meetings. It's something important. Yeah, I don't know really what it is, though.
An hour later, the phone rings, and it's Mark Messier, man, and we finished the interview. We probably went another 25, 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
So this interview went from only 15 minutes to Mark Messier having a great time. we're having an even better time, dude, talking to, one of the greatest players in the history of the game. And listen, we've talked to a number of Hall of Famers, and we've had Gretzky on and whatever. And Messier, he's in a different class. He's like with Gretzky, you know what I'm saying?
And
like
he doesn't do these much,
Hey,
can I give an example of what it's like talking to some hot ass chick, and she's out of your league, but she's giving you attention, and then she's like, "I have to go do a modeling shoot. I'll call you back," and you're like,
"Yeah,"
and you're in your underwear with your buddies on the couch playing video games like assholes, looking like dipshits, smelling like shit. And you're like, this chick ain't calling me back. And all of a sudden she does her modeling shoot and she calls you back. And you're like, oh, God dang. And then all of a sudden you have like a euphoric high. That's how it was. Because Andy, it was an hour in and I'm looking at you like, motherfucker, I'm hungry. I just did my 3-hour radio show. Is he really calling back? It's a hot chick. And usually hot chicks probably don't call you back anyway.
And what I said, I'm used to getting the calls back.
I'm just saying. So I'm like, is this hot chick calling back? And she fucking did. So I got to give you props, homie. I really do.
Yeah, I said he'll call back, man. He'll call back. He was unbelievable. And I would say that this is probably like a little bit of a different interview than what you're going to hear typically from Mark Messier. I mean, like, in terms of...
He was chill. He was totally
chill and just so relaxed. Yeah. And I feel like you get a feel for like who this guy is away from hockey. It's not all about hockey with Mark Messier, but he lived an incredible life, man. I can't imagine being a superstar player if any market is any better than New York City, Cam. If you are a true super, I'm watching this guy, Henrik Lundqvist, on television, man. It's just like,
I like him, but he's not that good.
I've read some negativity on social media, but if you just listen to him talk,
I know. You're right.
He's saying something. You know what I mean? It may not be the most polished version. It may not be fast. It may not be full of energy. It may not be exhilarating and hilarious and funny, but he's saying something interesting and something important and something different than any of these other guys are saying in reality.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't give a fuck, though. I want Biz back. That's why.
Well, he was with them. He was with them.
He was with them one time, but like whenever you take Biz out of the picture, it's just like, but don't like I don't give a fuck who you put in there. It ain't him, and I want to listen to him, and I want he and Talk to go back and forth, and I want Talk to chirp him. That is unbelievably funny, and it's natural, and it's not Shaq and fucking Barkley, but it's fucking they got something, just like me and you got something. It works. But a lot of people, it doesn't work. And you're just throwing in the most handsome. It doesn't matter. Like, you need to have something different. For me, that's how I look at it. I like Lundqvist, man. He's processed. There's a lot of guys that you can put up there that are smart. That'll break shit down. I want to be entertained.
Well, listen, Cam, with all these head coaching jobs open, if Rick Tocchet doesn't take one of these jobs, I mean, it tells you all you need to know, how much he loves broadcasting. He just wants to do this.
He's having a blast, probably.
Because I would imagine that one of these jobs is going to become available, dude. I would think that he wants as much fun as he's having. At his stage of his career, he could always go back into television. And as good as television pays, it doesn't pay as well as being a head coach in the NHL. And you probably miss that competition. Yeah. At the end of the day, he's still seeing all these guys that are his friends that are like coaching teams and doing that.
Talking to him.
They're talking to him about, just being in the mix. Like, you probably miss that competition.
Can I say something real quick? I like Talk so much, dude. I liked how he stuck up for Chief. And he's like, fucking Chief's got to come out and fucking say this goddamn thing. Like, who I just like how he stuck. Just the whole thing with that cadre and how it spun. He was a victim in the end. And of course, who are the racist guys? Call them out. Where they at? That 14-year-old kid eating fucking Hot Pockets in his daddy's basement, eating fucking Pop-Tarts with crumbs on his stomach. That motherfucker. Now, because that fuck boy said something. So it's just like, you know what? Like, no, Kadri still ran the goalie. St. Louis ain't fucking right. Like, the fans, I hang out with these fans. Andy, you see these fans every fuck day. You see them every other day at the goddamn rink. I go on trips with the fans. They are awesome. And of course, you can have weirdos here and there. Who knows? But it kind of got tied and spun with those goddamn riders in Denver. No. Fuck this Kadri, dude. He fucking does this shit all the time. And now, like, the Blues are like
Well, listen,
it was weird.
I'll say this about Nazem Kadri, man, and I would never condone anybody who's putting
of course
that
not.
type of like
we know
offensive
that
shit on social media. Nobody should have to deal with that and whatever. But I will say this about Nazem Kadri. I mean, every year, dude, it's about him. He's in the mix. He's in the mix. There's something going on, whether he's getting suspended, he's running a goaltender. It's always about Nazem Kadri. So I'm not saying he deserves any type of harsh treatment. Or any type, anybody going after his ethnicity. Those people are fucking losers.
They're fucking Hoosier weirdos.
And you know what? But I also will say this: I thought the Blues, as an organization, took some unfair criticism.
That's what I mean.
I mean, why should they have to speak for some random dude who may be from the area, but they don't work with the organization. They don't represent the organization. They're putting stupid shit on social media, and so then the Blues had to respond. Originally, when Craig Berube was asked the question, he didn't know. It's not his player. He's not being updated and before he goes on the podium and saying, "Hey, listen, this is what's going on with their player and whatever." He didn't know exactly what was happening, and so he's like, "I don't have a comment on it." And now he's being crushed. But I will say a couple things. I think Jared Bednar also said he didn't have a comment on it.
No, he was awesome too.
David Perron, from what I understand, was also being attacked on social media. They didn't make as big a deal out of it where it became a side story. So it was going on both ways. And listen, okay, so the authorities said they were going to look into these threats. I think we have to separate, death threats from harassment on social media. Yeah. And I think after looking into it, the authorities, that's what they discovered. It was pretty much he was being harassed versus being, under the condition of some type of threat. But for the Blues to feel like they're at they represent what's being said, and they're at the wrong, and now they have to step up and say something to
after their number one gets hurt.
I was like, what? After their goalie's taken out of the playoffs?
Andy, it drove me fucking insane for about 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, oh my god, I this spun this way. It's so weird. It's over. Colorado's a better team. They won. Very close series. Respect to everybody. It's all good, but that was very fucking bizarre.
And Kadri's a good player.
He's a really good player.
Who's to say the Blues don't have interest in bringing him here to St. Louis?
I know, man. Get his ass, so we don't have to hate him anymore.
The Blues don't hate Nazem Kadri. Hey, did you see the reaction? I mean, the coaching staff was giving him through the handshake line, man. These guys are all hockey players. They get it. It's part of the game.
But on the other hand, though,
crashing the goalie and crashing the crease and bumping the goalie, getting in his face, it's been a part of hockey since.
Andy, I know. But I know how these motherfuckers think, dude. Like, it's like I said this before. It's like being a serial killer. You can interview a serial killer, and he knows how the other fucking serial. I know how guys hit. I get the hitting thing. I get it. You can't help yourself sometimes. It's in your soul. So I ain't fucking like I'm not stupid. I know what the fuck you're doing. I know what you did last year. I know you did the year before that. I just know you. I know you. I know how Matt Cook thinks. I know how fucking Gudis thinks.
Rafi
Torres. I know how Tommy Wilson thinks. I just get it.
Jeff Courtnall.
You ain't fooling me, bro.
Dino Cicerelli. I mean, you can go on and on down the line, man. Where these guys, that's the way they play, dude. Yeah. And they had to play that way. And, David Perron has always been that guy, too. I mean, he's not going to
He ain't crushing guys, though. These are hitters.
But
he's not a hitter.
He will accidentally on purpose fall under goaltender.
That's fine. But I'm talking about catching guys. Like, you have this
I know what you're
instinct.
saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Harry doesn't have that. But Schinner does.
Yeah.
Schinner does a little bit. He'll fucking catch you, man. Like if
he
there's something,
he won't cross that line. Though.
He won't.
He's not getting.
Yeah, he's not as bad as we were, but he's got a little bit. But Kadri's bad. Like I know the way he thinks, man.
Matthew Tkachuk will do that too. He's done that through earlier in his career where he was catching guys.
He'll do it.
Cassian, Doughty, all those guys.
How about fucking Jacob Trouba? He won a series because of doing that.
Jacob Trouba may be the most feared hitter in the game right now. Cam.
He kills you,
honestly. Dude. Is there another player in the league right now that you'd have more fear of if you're crossing the middle of the ice?
Well, Zadorov will put you on your motherfucking back. Although he didn't look great in that series.
No, and I said that about.
Well, he'll put you on your back
when he was leaving Chicago. Man, I was talking to people around the league, like scouts and whatever. Hey, what's your take on this guy? Like, no one had. They're like, dude, this guy can't defend. He was a disaster in Chicago, whatever. And I know he played okay in Calgary, but when it mattered the most, he's on the big stage. He was just okay.
Well, he turns some pucks over and shit.
Yeah, he's all right though. I don't mind him.
He makes 4.5, I think. So it's like
I like that Josh Manson though. Here,
I know. You see him make a save on goddamn Was it Barbie?
Yeah.
It was somebody like
no, it was on Kyrou. He made
a big save. He was a big part of the goal. is a big part of something else. Like
he scored an overtime goal, man.
He scored an overtime goal, and he does things, and he's tough. Yeah. And his daddy was a motherfucker. Goddamn right, boy.
He's a free agent too.
I'll take that son of a bitch so fast. Woo! I want to get his daddy on. Where is he at?
You think I want to see him? You think Edmonton can give Colorado a series? Like, how do you look at this?
No, I don't think so. I think Darcy Kemper's way better than Smitty. I think that
not by much. Not by much.
But I think he's better. But I think that the big superstar is going to go toe to toe. It's going to even itself out, and their depth is going to take over, brother. I see it. And you know what? If the Blues would have won, they would have fucking beat Edmonton too.
Oh yeah, I think that really was the conference final. I will say that's Colorado, man. I don't love their defense. They've got some superstars back there. Don't get me wrong. Although McCarr was very quiet in the St. Louis series.
The Blues are good at shutting guys down.
He was very
Edmonton's
quiet.
not. Look at their goal.
He didn't score a goal, but then you get down to without Girard, bring in Jack Johnson. Eric Johnson will make some mistakes, man. He didn't play very well in that game 5, man. He really struggled defensively. McCarr had made some mistakes in their own end.
EJ had a big goal though.
I like this Taves. Obviously, he's a good player back there for Colorado, but he was just okay at times. So their defense, for a championship level team, their defense is thin, and you just wonder if that's going to catch up with them.
Because old boy got hurt from Barbie. I'm forgetting his name. Gerard. He was so good, dude. Gerard, he was way better than McCarr the first couple games in that series. He had the puck the whole time.
Yeah.
He spun off of guys. Mm-hmm. He was really good. And then Barbie put him down. I've gotten hit like that, Andy. Oh, God. It cracked my sternum. And I'm like, I didn't know what the fuck happened. And I'm like, you get squashed. Just like when I squashed you. And then when Chaser squashed you. And then Bobby remember that feeling? Times that by 10. You don't even know. You didn't even get hit. I mean, even that fucking clip that I hit you, the last clip. We have to put that back out there and just do a vote on if that's seriously dirty.
Well, you got to have the sound up.
Put it up then.
And it's not the camera angle doesn't really give it justice.
I was going to let you punch me in the face.
Your elbow was up high.
No. I was going to let you punch me in the face, and I was going to eat a couple punches to even it out, and you didn't do it. But I was waiting for you to do it, and I was going to eat it to even shit out. I think that's fair.
Let's hope that doesn't happen again.
You would have broke your hand.
Hey. The Florida Panthers, can I just say this? For an organization that hadn't won a playoff series since 1996. See, it didn't make sense to me. You look at how championship teams build their roster and how they attack the trade deadline as an example versus these desperate teams that don't know how to win. They're just not there yet. And for the Florida Panthers to feel like they need to go out and get Claude Giroux and give up another first-round pick. Like Sherrod, I didn't have a problem with, whatever. But you didn't need Claude Giroux. You already had your core group of star offensive players. They needed someone to come in and support those guys. You look at Tampa Bay, man. Who do they bring in? They bring in Paul. They bring in Hagel. They're not looking to bring in Claude Giroux, even though they don't have the cap space, but whatever. But you know what I'm saying? To complement Stamkos and Kucherov and all these guys, they don't need that. So Florida would have been better off bringing in a Delorier or something that's going to bring them some attitude and to make them feel maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit better about themselves. Instead, I just feel like, for a team that now all of a sudden is starting to be good, they win the President's Trophy. And they got a little arrogant, a little snooty there at the trade deadline. They're like, oh, we're going to go out and get Claude Giroux as well, without thinking, okay, this may not be the best fit for our team. And you got to know who the team is. Even the Blues, I'll say this real quick, Cam. You bring in Nick Leddy. It's like everyone was saying, oh, do they need this defenseman or that defenseman? They were just talking about all the defensemen that require first-round picks and whatever. Yeah. It's like, no, we're going to get a player that's going to fit in with our team. He's going to make us better, and we're not going to have to give up a first-round pick to go out and get him. You know what I'm saying?
You got the Sun Dog had to go, but you had to get the Sun Dog, Sonny. But yeah, I get Andy. You're making sense, dude. I completely get you. They didn't have enough snarl. They got Gudis hitting you, but you kind of needed a motherfucker, just something to change a tide. They let in a lot of goals. They got a little too loosey-goosey, and they didn't perform, man. Fuck them.
No.
You're actually very boring, and like, you're maybe your organization needed you to like have another home game to bring more people in and you fucking didn't do it.
Hey, what'd you think about Calgary, man? The way they performed against Edmonton, like, were you disappointed? Like, I was a little bit surprised, but not overly surprised. We said that too. I said that about Florida. I said that about Calgary too. Something like you watch them play in the regular season, man. They're impressive. They're fun to watch and whatever. But you can just see sometimes if you don't think it's going to translate to the postseason.
Those 4 Cougars behind the bench. Oh good for you, girl.
I think I know them. I think I know them.
You don't know fuck from shit.
A couple of them look pretty familiar from like a bachelor party or something.
Yeah, she probably hung out with you in Arizona. They were hot,
a couple of them look. They were.
That was pretty funny. And every time,
Dallas is doing that.
Dallas is doing that. That's got to be.
I always wonder how the Blues would handle their coaching staff if that was like behind them during.
Otter would be funny. And anytime you put their hand on the glass, they all put their hand on. It was fucking funny. That's good for hockey. You need hot chicks around. It's just that simple.
Hey, real quick, Jay Woodcroft, the head coach of Edmonton.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that? Did I ever tell you that when Mike Babcock attacked me?
Yeah.
He's the coach that went and got Mike Babcock, who had my story in his hand.
And
he was the one that said,
he
was the one that said, Babs, that's Andy Strickland right there. That was Jay Woodcroft. He was a video coach for the Red Wings at the time.
Well, he's sticking up for his fucking big dog.
So he's the one who,
he probably should have done it. You probably should have got choked out, Andy. Now I think about this whole.
Well, he didn't do it. I was waiting for him to. I had a lot of visions in my mind of what that could do for me if he would have.
Yeah, you're gonna sue
physically attacked me. But so it's just funny. Jay Woodcroft, and he was tight with Todd McClellan, right? He kind of followed Todd around.
Yeah,
San Jose.
That's what you do, man.
Edmonton. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like Otter's like the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like Steve Ott will be a head coach one day, but he's kind of attached with Craig Berube as well. Like they're so tight.
Yeah, you're tight until you're not.
Craig Berube. Well, I get that, but I'm saying, Craig Berube will have that guy around until Steve Ott gets a head coaching job.
Yeah.
And he might. Barry Trotz had his guy. Lambert. Everybody kind of has their guy. Joe Quenneville had Mike Kitchen forever. So,
how about Joe Quenneville not being in Florida? Do you think that made a big difference?
Well, 100%.
I mean,
of course it did. I don't feel like Andrew Burnett. He coached like a rookie coach. I mean, taking guys in and out of the lineup, not getting the most out of your players, like
changing lines
them to play harder.
Your power play.
Power play was just all of a sudden completely failed you in the playoffs. It just failed you. So I don't know. It's nothing against Andrew Burnett. I think he's got a future as a coach for sure. He was handed a great team, and I'll give him credit because he didn't mess it up in the regular season. So he pushed all the right buttons there, had these guys performing, but a little bit different in the postseason. So anyway, getting back to Jay Woodcroft. So he goes and gets Mike Babcock and whatever. Like I said, Todd McClellan. But people are analyzing Jay Woodcroft like he's some rookie coach or something like that. And I know he's a rookie in the NHL, but this guy's been a head coach for several years in the American Hockey League. He's been coaching for a long time. Okay? Like he's not coaching like a rookie coach though. He's not. So we got to call rookie in the sense that doesn't have a ton of experience in the NHL as a head coach. But Cam, this, man. If you can coach, you can coach. It doesn't really matter what level you're at. John Cooper showed that too when he came up.
Well, it's nice to have two big dogs that just do shit. You play them. Yeah. You play Connor McDavid and you play Leon Draisaitl.
But he's found a way to incorporate other players though too.
Well, you got that Hyman. Like some of these guys at the Leafs let go.
Hyman? You're gonna let Hyman go and keep Nylander?
Oh, what? All the
Toronto.
Hate,
that's the type of player you need in the postseason.
You fucking A. You fucking need
say this. God. Hey, he wanted 7 or 8 years. So and Edmonton. Hey, listen, they gave him the 7-year deal. It looks great right now. You never know how that deal's going to look towards the latter stages of that contract.
But he's the kind of dude that you just need. You need a guy like that in your lineup. Like you need. Yeah. We saw it with Buck and Barbie and Sonny and shit, and just like they just did things. Like they did things. Like there's always something they did, and I know it's simplistic. But like either they kept a puck alive or they blocked a shot and they did this. They scored a timely goal always. Patty Maroon, we got to give him a shout out, man. I got to give my boy a shout out. And he looks cute with his little baby girl. Loveliness. I love it. Francesca, give you a little shout out, girl. What's up? Lovely family. Patty finds a way to fucking score goals. It's unbelievable. Man. And they ain't fucking losing. Tampa Bay, they ain't fucking losing. Unless they get really tired from fucking winning all the goddamn time. Right, you have no time to regroup in the summer. Like, it's just a different story. Like, you cut everything in half, and you're obligated to do so many different things. So I don't know how they have it. They have it. And whoever they fucking play, they're probably going to kill.
And then listen, it's because the goalie. We may have said this last week or whatever that he's now. Oh yeah, I said it with Mark Messier. We had talked about it with Mark Messier in this interview. Oh yeah, I'm like this dude is in the category already with Patrick Waugh and Marty Brodeur and these guys. And who knows, Cam, when it's all said and done, Andre Vasileskiy He could go down. He'll certainly go down as one of the greatest goaltenders.
God, he's good.
He's 27. Obviously, his career is not complete, so those individual numbers in terms of totals aren't there yet. But like I do a radio show once a week, Cam, with Jamal Mayers and Timmy Peel, and I threw this out there to him. I'm like, this guy's got, and they're like, oh, pump the brakes. I'm like, pump the brakes. Are you seeing this guy's numbers in elimination games?
He's unbelievable.
And what he's doing at 27. And oh, by the way, he's already won 2 Stanley Cups.
Just watch him.
Maybe winning a third consecutive. Like they don't listen as good as Tampa Bay is, and I like Tampa Bay, Cam. Listen, they're fun to watch and whatever. But they're not that much better than everybody else. He's the difference.
Well, he's part of the team, man. I hate when
the goalie. Yeah, Andy, it's the goalie.
I hate when people say that. You can say, "Oh, the Devils weren't good." Mark, no. He's part of the fucking team. I get that. You have the best goalie in the world. You have a better team because of that. So you could slip up here and there. He's gonna make the save because you have a team. So fuck yeah, they're better than everybody.
He makes all the difference in the world.
He does. And then Corey Perry goes out and scores a fucking big time goal, making $1 million. Like always. Patty scores.
They've got Hall of Fame players on their roster. Stamkos, Kucherov, these guys. Braden Point. I know he's been hurt. Hedman. I mean, but these guys, are building Hall of Fame resumes, if not in some cases have already built one. But all I'm saying is, man, every great dynasty has that goaltender. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Grant Fuhrer, whoever it is, Billy Smith, you always have that great goaltender. Obviously in Montreal, they had it in the 70s with Ken Dry. Like, you have that guy. And Andre Vasileskiy, just like Marty Brodeur and Patrick Waugh, man, he's the modern version of those guys.
And then you got like Zach Bogosian, who's just good. And you got I don't know. They're just good, man. And I like Johnny Cooper, and they play for that motherfucker. Yeah. They do. And they're going to beat Carolina, or they're going to beat Rangers. I know it's coming out tomorrow, but we got Mark Messier on, just so all y'all know. That ain't easy to do. Andy and I do all this ourselves, although that is Andy calling people, but we get the big dicks. I know I said this before, but we get the big dicks. And Andy's hounding these cats, and all of a sudden they'll text them.
I'm not hounding.
No. But you're still you call me rattled about stuff. You do a lot, dude. I'm giving you a shout out here. I'm not chirping you, but it's weird. And then he'll get a text at 5:00 in the morning from the big boy and say, "Yeah, let's do it." It's like, okay. So good for you, man. I chirp you a lot, but
yeah, you do. He was cool, man. He was cool.
Yeah, he was really cool, and he called us back like a hot chick. And you don't know anything about that, but back in the day when a hot chick calls you back, you're like, "God, yes." Wow. In your underwear playing video games like a nerd. She's doing modeling things. Calls you back.
I was probably at the gym, Cam, when she called me back. I was probably at the gym. Probably
my wife was going to come into the studio today, and I was going to compare both your arms.
Probably shooting pucks.
I was going to compare you and Kate's arms. That would have been pretty gutless. I'm sorry. But just get them fucking curls going, homie. No, I'm getting going. Ty needs to do it too.
I'm getting back in the gym.
Start curling.
I'm getting back in the gym.
He needs his neck bigger. Do some push-ups and shit.
Cam, I was actually doing pretty well with the gym, but then the pandemic came, and I just started doing that Peloton around the house. I had my trainer.
Blah.
I just never got motivated to go back in the gym. But while I'm at the racket club today, when everyone's out of the pool, I might spend 45 minutes inside the gym before I go back out.
That's cool.
To get that atrophy. Is that what they call it? You know what the atrophy is, Cam? Muscle atrophy?
I ain't going to that racket club. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, you'd love it.
I'll look out a place there. I don't do that. God, the Racket Club.
They'll be like, sir, you cannot.
Sir, you have chewing tobacco and hey. Fucking God.
All right, let's get to Mark Messier, man.
Right.
And I'm excited for people to hear this. Listen, always go to Apple Podcasts, whatever. Give us that 5-star.
Yeah.
Throw us a comment. Yeah. Throw us a comment, and let's keep building this up. Yeah, and I want to get some feedback from people. I want to know what they're thinking. Keep supporting the sponsors. Go to camandstrick.com. And if you miss any other episodes, you can check them all out there. Yeah, Cam, real quick, dude.
Yeah.
That Red Wings Colorado Avalanche documentary is coming out, dude. I mean, people are going a little bit too crazy. Or I mean, I don't know. We'll see. They're building it up pretty strong.
Well, we already know everything about it for the most part. We've had fucking D. McCarty on. We've had Claude Lemieux. We've had them all on. We've talked to we've had
Ozzy, Scotty Bowman, Mark Crawford.
Come on. We get the goddamn big dicks. That's the bottom line. That's why we already know stories with all that. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I've watched that fight a billion times. But yeah, I'll watch it. But we already know everything about it.
Well, I don't think we know everything. Don't ever think you know it all, Cam.
I never.
You're going to learn something here.
I know. I get that. And you always, I don't want to act like no one knows.
You're going to learn something.
I know. I get you. You're right. You need to learn a lot of things about a lot of things, Andy.
I was reading about.
I teach myself. I read shit all day.
Me too. Cam, that's all I do.
No.
I was reading about the history of Memorial Day today.
That's what you do. You just find little snippets on YouTube about interesting things throughout U.S., throughout fucking world history.
That's why I was calling it Decoration Day, because back in the South,
that's cute.
Back in the day, they used to decorate the tombstones of both the Confederate and the Union soldiers.
I know. It's
not just one or the other.
Well,
I'm just telling you.
400,000 men died fucking abolishing slavery here, baby. They fucking went to the fucking 400,000, baby. And they did.
So I'm gonna have the reggae music going
Robert Lee
today.
Fucked up a couple times.
I got the reggae music going today. I got on my Sonos, okay, very loud speaker. Cam, Sonos. my neighbor came over the other day, actually, true story, yesterday, and we're gonna watch his house for him a little bit because they're going over to India for 3 months.
Ooh.
Or no, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And
we're at New Delhi.
He's invited. What'd you say? I think it's by
I said Bombay, New Delhi. If he lives in New Delhi or Mumbai, is one of the biggest cities in the world.
Mumbai.
Yeah,
a billion. He's saying Bombay.
They have a billion people in India.
Oh yeah. So they can handle another one.
They got nuclear warheads too. Just so you know.
Well, he's invited me to go with him for the next trip. So I'm thinking about it. I said I want to go to Nepal, dude. That's where I really want to go to is Nepal.
Well, you want to go hike up that fucking mountain? You better get yourself
they got
acclimated.
Tigers and shit, dude. They got tigers.
They have tigers in India. In Nepal, you're in the mountains. Very, very mountainy up there. They had a huge earthquake like 10 years ago. It fucked up a lot of shit. But you could go, but you ain't ready to hike up those fucking mountains, homie. You need to go like that 3,000 footer in southern Missouri before you even do anything. You're not acclimated, bruh. Try to go to Nepal. Like that's how you get in jam and somebody else, a Sherpa dies trying to save you because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. The Sherpa has to save your fucking, But you go to India, you got crocodiles, you got tigers, and you go down. I want you to go on a river trip down there. And they have the nastiest river in the world, by the way. The Ganges.
You know what I love, dude? I love the Indian buffets. You ever been to an Indian buffet and eating that shit? Like that's the best food out there.
Right. Well, it ain't the best.
Some naan bread, some Bombay aloo.
Yeah, I think if you go to India, though, you're gonna be like, this place is fucking hardcore.
I don't think
very overpopulated.
Not if I
very
go with
unsanitary.
Praveen. Not if I go with Praveen next door.
I'm just saying, very unsanitary. Millions of people on trains, on the outside of trains, because it's so overpopulated. Yeah.
I'll probably have to water his garden, I would think.
Go in find the Ganges River and swim in it.
I know all about it. There's crocodiles and shit in there. There's actually hippopotamus.
It's the most polluted river in the world, dude.
There's
dead bodies floating out.
Hippos live in there.
Hippopotamuses will kill you more than anything, just so you know. Besides mosquitoes.
You think that's the strongest?
The number one's a hippo. Kills more people than anybody. Besides mosquitoes, and then it goes from there. Yeah.
Could a hippo handle like a bear in a one-on-one fight?
I would. Here's you couldn't. A bear has claws like a fucking dinosaur. Like a bear could get you with his strength, his claws. He's durable. He can climb up trees. A hippo can't climb. They're very they could swim. They'll pop up and hit your boat and they'll fucking get you. But I'd say a big grizzly bear would take pretty much anything. I would say.
Really, a tiger?
Yeah, I'd say a grizzly bear because they're bigger. They're bigger and. Yeah,
you think a grizzly could take a tiger?
I would say the one thing that could beat a grizzly is
a lion.
No. I think a grizzly could beat a lion. I would say a lion one-on-one. I would say a huge crocodile would drag a grizzly and drown it, maybe. But even then, and a crocodile is hard to beat. Like you can't in the big one. That's a good question, man. I think a grizzly, it would really be a polar bear because they're the biggest and the most aggressive. So I would say a polar bear is the most apex predator in the world going, besides a large crocodile. How's that for an answer?
I don't know. I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it to you.
That's a good question.
But I hope it's accurate information because people are going to take this information.
I do my research on it.
This is now being discussed around the water cooler in Saskatchewan with my people.
Good, get on, baby. I love all y'all.
Yeah.
Get your goddamn mind right, baby. You work your ass off all fucking
Cam,
week.
What do you do on Memorial?
Look at the water, baby.
What do you do on Memorial Day? Like, what do you do? Like, what should I do the rest of the day? Like, honestly,
I thought you could hang out with your nerd friends at that.
I am, but what's your suggestion to people how to spend
today? Just enjoy the weather. It's beautiful weather here. I'm gonna barbecue shark ribs, fat ass motherfuckers. I'm gonna barbecue some fatties.
Nobody's gonna eat that shit. No one's eating it. No one's eating it. Cam, you have messed up some barbecue recently. You have messed up. Oh yeah,
I fucked up a lot because sometimes I get too drunk, and I won't even eat it. And I'll go to bed. Waste. Don't do that.
The plan was yesterday to grill and make my seafood stew, but it didn't thaw out fast enough, dude. So now it's thawed out. It's ready to go because I had it in the freezer, the seafood freezer.
I don't eat frozen food.
I got a T-bone for you too. The burgers are the only thing you can grill frozen, like I said to you before. That's the one thing you can do. Don't, as long as it's not fully frozen.
You got kids, so I can't chirp you that much. You got to freeze shit. I get it. I don't got kids. I don't freeze a goddamn thing. I don't. If it's over, it's over. Maybe there's a couple things I'll save for, if there's a cooked stew or something. But I'll buy it.
But Cam, if I have the seafood stew though with scallops, shrimp, salmon, and lobster, dude.
I'll eat them.
It's gonna be good as shit. I'll bring you some of that, dude. I'll bring you some of that.
Put some king crab leg. Get some fatties in that mug.
I got the lobster.
Some fatties.
Lobster tail.
I don't want a stew. I'm gonna do a lobster or a seafood broil, which is kind of similar to that.
It's a boil, not a broil. It's a boil.
My bad. And then you put a thing out, but I want fatty ass Alaskan king crab leg, the fat ones with the big knuckle. I want fat ass goddamn lobster tail, big old goddamn shrimp, scallops, and then corn, spicy sausage, onion, garlic, and then seasoning out the wazoo, and then and I'll probably put some butter, garlic butter, dump it in That's what I want.
Do you know what they call butter in India?
I don't give a fuck.
Ghee. It's called ghee, like Ghee.
Whatever.
Okay, so sometimes
Cam, India to be on our side if things go down.
Well, they are, dude. I know a lot of them, dude. They are amazing people.
We're not talking about your nerd buddies that have 1,000 IQ.
And when I go into the Indian restaurants, dude, they all know who I am too.
That's cool. But the point is, their government. I kind of want so if push comes to shove with shit. Government. We need you, India. You got a lot of people. You got a big army. They do have a big army.
Yeah, they do. Cam, I'm going to use veggie sausage probably. I didn't think about that. I knew that I probably wanted some sausage in there because that's more like a gumbo.
Can you eat sausage? Can you eat sausage?
I'm going to put some veggie sausage in.
Why veggie sausage? What the fuck does that do?
Because I love the
You ever have spicy sausage? No?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to eat that? You're like a 13-year-old girl. You're like a picky 13-year-old girl That's like, I don't like that. That's what you're like.
Mm. That's
no offense to 13-year-old girls, but like, I'm just saying. You kind of are. It's kind of like that. When I get these messages from all the good old boys, they chirp you about it. And it's hard to defend you. Like, I do pump your tires up, but when it comes to like some shit, you're just goddamn nerdy. I still love you.
I'll give Craig Berube a big shout out too for coming out and doing an interview right after you lose the series.
That was good
too, Cam. You know,
you did go.
No, he's just like he's evolved and emerged as one of the true top coaches in the league. And I know they didn't get to the third round, but getting through Colorado is a beast. Real quick, we reported last week about John Tortorella. He and the Flyers potentially linking up and having mutual interest. So we'll see what happens there. I will say though, if there's a team out there looking for a head coach, we all know that there are several of them. I would expect Jim Montgomery to find his name on the radar of a number of teams, Cam. I mean, he's kind of back. He had some issues. Came to St. Louis. He's fully rehabilitated. Him, by the way. He's rehabilitated his reputation.
So cool. Oh, God.
Not that he had a ton of work to do because he's such a smart, intelligent hockey guy.
Awesome.
But he had a lot of impact on this Blues team, too, and on this coaching staff. Yep. And we'll just see. Is that what he's looking to do? His kids play hockey here and stuff like that. So maybe he's comfortable, just hanging out here in St. Louis and doing his thing with the Blues. But if he wants to be a head coach, which I'm sure he does, he's going to have that opportunity very, very soon. If not this year or next year, then shortly thereafter. You know what I'm saying?
I like him a lot, man. I do. He is a sweetheart of a guy, smart man. I'd work for him. I'd love to work for a guy like that. Great guy. I like that whole goddamn coaching staff. Just so all y'all know, they are all cool as shit. When I say cool as shit, meaning like you could talk to them. Like they're not like too good for you or walk past. They're a perfect balance of.
And they're pretty
smart,
young.
Cool,
they're a young staff.
I know. And I play with a couple guys, honor and stuff. So it's like, but yeah, man. Like you couldn't draw up a cooler staff.
You want to give a shout out to Jason Spezza?
Yeah, Spez, great human being, a little nerdy, but great human being. And no, I'm just saying. And he was such a sweet guy to me when I was playing juniors. Remember I said Otter was a dick a little bit?
Yeah.
Spez was a sweetheart. And you didn't have to
the opposite of Otter?
Oh, my God. Like the nicest guy in the world. Do anything for you. Took care of the guys. He had a lot of money. He signed for $1 million. He had car deals. He was the biggest thing going in OHL. I've never seen anything like it. Never met a guy any popular as that at that age. And he was just a superstar. And he was really nice to me. And I was like, cocky kid. I don't know. I'll never forget that. That's all.
I'm sensing a love fest between that Toronto media and him, though.
Because he's an awesome guy.
They didn't seem to go to bat for him, though. Back then,
Yeah, well,
they didn't love him when he was a superstar in Ottawa, but now they love him because he had his last couple of years there in Toronto. So
he was good to me, man. That's all I look at that.
Yeah, he's a great dude. We're gonna get him on, man. And
get his ass. He'll say
this guy was really, really good. For a long stretch during his career. Don't forget that. Sometimes players stick around, the Corey Perry types and whatever, and they may, finish their careers with a little bit of a different role. But don't ever forget how great and dominant these guys were. These guys were great players, elite.
Yeah, well, Spence was on the best line in the league.
Yeah,
with what?
And Heat.
Albert and fucking Heat. Remember that back in like 2007? They were fucking shit kicking.
Yeah,
dominating.
One time I was at the draft. I needed a ride to get over to the building, and so there was a bus, and it said Ottawa Senators on it or something like that. So I just went on the bus. I'm like, I'll just hitch a ride here. And Daniel Alfredson kicked me off the bus.
Well, they should. Why would you go on a bus? Jesus.
He's like, dude, this is for the Senators only. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
Well, yeah, dude.
This was years and years ago. Well, but then I went on the Red Wings bus, Cam, and I sat next to, I'll think of his name, defenseman, who actually had a heart issue. Remember who I'm talking about?
I do know who you're talking about.
Dude, and I'll think of his name.
Big Yuri Fisher?
Yuri Fisher.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, you sit right here. No problem. You come with us.
He probably thought you were like a kid asking for autographs.
No, we talked the whole way. He was the nicest guy ever. Could not have been nicer. Yes, and actually, we kept in touch for a little bit after that, actually. And
I like when guys are cool, man. I like when guys are just nice.
Yeah.
You could be a dick on the, but as long as you're nice and good to people, I don't know.
Hey,
I'm just telling
Doug
you,
Armstrong
I'll never forget that.
Doug Armstrong did that to me years ago too. I'll never forget that. I was on the trip, and I was on the bus, going over to the rink or whatever. I'm just kind of like, okay, where do I sit? Where do I sit? And Army slides over and he goes, "Hey, sit right here."
Because he felt sorry for you. He felt sorry for you. He thought you were like oh, this poor kid's lost. Like,
he's lost.
What's going on here?
No, I mean,
look, it all comes back around. You just be nice to people, man. I'm telling you. But you got to keep aware of people ripping you off, shit like that.
Yeah.
But if you shouldn't have enemies, in life. You shouldn't.
Do you have?
Why do you have enemies? No, I really don't. There's guys I'm just like, but I don't have enemies. Not yet. But you don't.
Nobody from House Springs, Eureka.
Maybe a couple girls are mad at me back in the day. Which is like,
So I wanted to share that story, dude.
Yeah, it's a good story. I had something else to say, but I forgot.
No. Well, if you think of it, let me know. Hair Club Cam and hairclub.com, 800-279-7878, baby.
Get confident.
279-7878. Explain confidence, Cam, and go into Hair Club, how that can improve your confidence.
Well, I'll tell you what's not confidence when you look at your fucking hair before you go out and try to talk to chicks and it's, falling out. That's not confident. And I get it, man. And there's nothing you could do about it besides, your heritage and shit. Sometimes it's a great grand. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I curse out my parents because of it.
Genetics,
I boiled it down to them. And they have thick, lovely hair. My dad has thick ass hair. What the fuck happened to me?
Really?
What happened to me? You give me a lot of good genetics, although I am crazy. But my goddamn hair, I curse them out. God dang.
Your dad has a thick head of hair?
Yes, he looks like Tom Jones. Curly. Could do.
What about your mom? What kind of hairdo does your mom have?
Thick ass hair. Me and my brother got fact. It could have been because I partied really, really hard. And, that's probably why I can't have kids and stuff, I guess. I don't know.
So, Cam, when you go to Hair Club, and by the way, go to our landing page, hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. Cam, that's where you go to the landing page. And you can just kind of scroll up and down, read all about it. You can find out about how you can replace and restore and fall in love with your hair. Hair restoration, man. They've got hair solutions for everybody.
I've done it before. That's why the front of my hair looks good.
Yeah. And over 1,200 locations in North America. So no matter where you're at, there is a location near you. And they are our title sponsor here on the Cam and Strick podcast. And they have helped so many people, Cam, around the world. Do you know?
Yeah, I know, Andy.
Do you shave your chest, Cam? Do you ever shave your chest?
I do shave. I got badass looking chest hair, though. Women love it.
And I had a trainer told me,
if you're jacked and you have let me tell you something, and you're not here, but when you have a big, thick chest, I told you to get I want Ty to do push-ups so his neck gets big and he gets good traps. So you look athletic. And when you wear a shirt that kind of creeps down, you got chest hair and you got a big old, women are like, you're sexy. I want to make out with you. I'm telling y'all. And you put your sunglasses down so your chest looks big. Like women look at that like you could hold, like you could protect me like a man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Ty needs to do goddamn push-ups, dude.
Well, even at 6 years old, because he
does. Yes, dude, that's his body weight. No, that's his body weight. He could do that.
Okay,
maybe at 7 or 8. I get you, Andy. He is young. I shouldn't say that, but I want him to start doing that. Like do different, so he gets obsessed with it.
I've been doing like sets of 15, 20 push-ups.
I don't give a shit. Here's another thing: get him into wrestling. Just do it.
I don't think we're gonna do that, dude.
No, man, it's cheap, and he'll learn how to fucking like be disciplined. He'll learn how to have it. It'll help him with hockey so much. His edges, like he'll learn his balance and how to like take somebody else's weight and like turn it and put it. Just it's crazy.
He had a great weekend. We had a great weekend of hockey this past weekend.
Good.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying.
Okay, well, Hair Club, man, and hairclub.com for men and women. Anybody else besides the men and women, Cam?
Well, I don't know. No animals, Andy. Like that was a psycho thing to say. Like like if your animal's getting their hair, like it is what it is. Like maybe vets could do shit, but you worry about your own hair at this point.
Okay. Hairclub.com. How about CarShield and CarShield.com? 800-857-2481, Cam. 800-857-2481. You never know when you're going to need that protection from CarShield, man. Sometimes you get a warning, but sometimes life just doesn't tell you what's going to happen next, Cam.
Yep. And you get fucking embarrassed. You think you're King Dick, walking around fucking saying bon voyage to everybody, and your goddamn truck doesn't start. You're like, what? I thought he was cool. I just said, like, I'm like, I thought he's
right.
No, he's a fucking idiot.
Can I explain something to you? So if you have the sunglasses down and your neck is big and your chest is big and you've got your hairy chest sticking out of your shirt with your sunglasses on and your truck doesn't start.
Oh, Jesus. All that masculinity turns into nothing. You're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Like nothing. You could be as handsome as fuck. But if your car doesn't start, everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's a fucking joke."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
I was gonna say that too. Yeah, so make sure your cars are, because you could look like even out of shape, but your car starts.
You still look out of shape, but you could look like a fucking pimp, and your car doesn't start. You're a fucking joke. Yeah. Write that down.
I hate summer clothes versus winter clothes.
Anyway. I hate it.
Like, I gotta wear like a t-shirt.
I have to do I honestly have to do curls every time I put my t-shirt on. I'm so vain. And then my legs are pale as fuck. I hate it.
Terrible feeling.
I like 50-degree weather where it's like sweatpants, and you put a little jacket over. And you can do That's what I want.
That's what I want.
When it's hot, I just look like an asshole. Too fat. My stomach sticks out too far. Then I'm like, my arms aren't as big as I want. Oh God.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good sight.
Oh, especially you.
CarShield.
Your little
CarShield. Hey, mention the promo code CAM. You're going to save 10%. I know. Message me. My people message me about this too.
In the summertime, it's really hard for you.
Oh yeah, it's not easy.
It's hard for you, man.
Especially when you like your wife takes pictures. You go back. You go through her phone later on that night. Let me see the picture.
Like, she's posting some shit.
Post this.
Oh, my arms are tiny looking. God.
We love our friends at CarShield, so check them out and check them out today. All right, Bellman and Bellman.com. Our boy Danny Boy, Dale, Kenny, the entire Bellman family wants to wish you a happy Memorial Day.
Yes, they do, baby. And let me tell you something, Andy. You keep selling this shit. We keep getting big dicks on. I'm going to have to get a shit kicker. I want something badass because I might have to get 2 shit kickers. I am missing a boat. I'm missing one, and I want to get a badass truck to haul that son bitch. And I'm going to go to Bellman, and I want a fucking fatty. I want a monster all blacked out, tinted up, blacked out. Don't need a dually, but something badass, 3/4 ton, badass. And I'm going to haul a shit-kicking boat. And I'm going to get it detailed the way I want it.
Like a 450?
Nah, 350s. 350.
You don't even know
like a big diesel. I know, gas, whatever. It'll go down. Whatever.
Dude, GMC's got some badass trucks, and we'll hook that up for you.
Dude, they got awesome, classy looking, Andy. Big trucks that can haul a big boat that look like a big, like, Denali, or whatever. They have awesome. How
are you handling the gas prices?
Well, I don't go that far. I'll just go down the lake, and then you just it's added on to your shit. And at the lake, man, you run your boat out, and you make money, and you spend your money.
What's the gas prices in Saskatchewan and Alberta right now?
Don't buzzkill Canada. Don't buzzkill them. It's probably bad. It's probably bad everywhere. I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Terrible.
Maybe it might be better than here.
They'll let us know. Our listeners, man, have the greatest like attention span, dude. They
do.
They hear.
Sometimes
they hear everything. They hear everything.
They're like, Cam, why'd you say that for? I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So Bellman, listen, they've got amazing selection of used cars as well, and they'll buy your car and they're going to give you above Kelly Blue Book. So again, they do everything for you over there. Danny Boy, Kenny, Dale, everybody. Say hi to all of them, Cam.
Hi, Dale. Hi, Kenny. What up, dudes?
Danny Boy. Say hi to Danny.
Danny Boy, what up, Danny? Bye. I'm chilling today, man.
He's golfing today.
He's golfing. Why wouldn't you?
So check that out. Go to Bellman and Bellman.com and go there today. Zero Carb Life Pizza, Cam.
Oh,
LYFE. Oh my God. This has
Starving.
just completely changed my life, dude. Changed my life.
Oh, you love it,
like life was good, and now it's even better. Again, the Stricky recipe, the Stricky suggestion is you got to put some olive oil underneath that crust, Cam. And
They know that.
No, well, I'm just telling them. You got to turn that heat up to 500. I can put that probably in the Traeger too, actually, and it'll cook just fine. Yeah. They've got two different type of options for you. They've got the beef crumble, Cam, and they've got buffalo style. Yeah.
Oh, I'm fucking
and it's guilt-free. And it's guilt-free. 75 grams of protein in that 12-inch. Isn't that amazing? Ugh. I mean, I could probably have that as a post-workout. See, people like used to treat like the pizza, like where you're from probably, like, oh, I got to have pizza after my cheat meal. Not when I have Zero Carb Life, baby.
Where I'm from.
When you mentioned that promo code Cam Strick and you save 15%. Yeah, I don't know. My kids have never had that shit.
I don't.
We don't eat.
I don't blame you for not doing that.
We don't eat that.
No, I'd have the kids too healthy, but I would have Ty eat meat if I was his daddy, which I might be.
Crushed a hamburger last night.
He's got
cheeseburger.
Get him a fat ass fucking steak.
It was a prime steak burger.
Let him eat like a God. It'll make him a man, dude.
I'm making T-bones today.
He'll be more aggressive. He'll get testosterone in his ass and want to go fucking hit cats.
Does meat come with testosterone? Is it in there?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I don't know.
Zero Carb Life. Andy. Zero Carb Life will give you some testosterone,
dude. That's a healthy, cool, easy with your wife. Your kids is healthy, but it's still good. You could still put meat on that. You could dice it up the way you want, but it's awesome and it's fun to do too. By the way, so it's all unique. The crust is unbelievable, and if you're a meat eater like I am, it tastes good. Trust me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even if you're a grass eater like Andy, it's even better. But I like it, and I'm a hardcore. I'm a fucking carnivore.
They've got that chicken crust where you can just get the crust too, carb free. I mean, dude, seriously, this is really good for you. And then you can make your own pizza. You can put on there whatever you want. So you can make your own pizza. Check out that all white meat chicken crust. You can get the chicken crust too, or you can buy one of their two pizza selections, the beef crumble or the buffalo style, baby.
Yeah, man. Damn right.
Everything is better with buffalo. Have you ever noticed that? I love buffalo sauce, man. I put buffalo sauce in everything. Yeah,
of course.
I love buffalo sauce.
It's not like a hot take or something, Andy.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
I think we all know that.
Yeah, well, the Better Business Bureau, we know about that too.
Yeah, right. Especially a lot of y'all going on
BBB.org. Pizza, Zero Carb Life Pizza. You know, they got great reviews on there on the BBB. We love our friends with the Better Business Bureau. I talked to Natasha the other day and Chris.
Hi.
So say hi to both of them.
Hi,
Cam,
Chris.
Say hi right now.
Hi, Natasha. Actually, I met her brother. Got a hold of me somewhere.
He listens to the pod all the
time. I think I saw him at a Blues game.
Oh, really?
He's like, I'm Natasha's brother. I go, what's
up,
homie?
Was he like, where's Andy? Did you know, is Andy here?
No, they didn't ask about you.
Where's Andy hanging out at?
I don't know.
Where's Andy?
He's at that Creve Coeur Racket Club with the cool folk. Couldn't pay me to go there.
Yeah, I could.
I saw it on the BBB and it wasn't good reviews.
BBB, man, I love it.
Bezel.
The Better Business Bureau. Check it out. They've got like hundreds and hundreds of companies. They've been around for hundreds of millions of years.
No, maybe 100 years. But Andy's like, Andy goes the other day, been for hundreds of years. No, it doesn't make any sense. The United States has only been here for like 225. So no. So it's been here for 100 years.
We're here in the early portion of civilization still.
And we're the dominant. Don't even get me started. Yeah, no
shit. It's still the early.
I know.
Like
where shit can go bad and shit can go.
Like, what are they going to say about you 200 years from now?
I don't know. I don't know. That I brought the fucking heat, baby. That's what. I bring the heat.
The Better Business. They'll be reviewing us on the Better Business Bureau for hundreds and hundreds of years, man.
Yeah. Hundreds of years. I go, what? They've been around since the 1700s.
Yeah, I know. So we love the Better Business Bureau, man. Hey, listen, feel satisfied, feel secure, feel safe in the business that you turn to, that you're going to give your own hard-earned money in, plus charities, all that type of stuff. So you want make sure you're putting your
especially charities too, man.
Yeah, don't be putting your good money into bad money. I'm telling you that right now.
You got to do your research on some of these charities. They're not all good.
Yes, you do. And you can get all of that. BBB.org, baby. And say hi to Natasha. And say hi to Chris.
What's up, Chris?
Mars Blade, Cam. I've got my Mars Blade hat right here. Ty's been wearing this around. It's got the Swedish flag on the back, so you know it's legit.
Oh, it's kind of cool.
It's got the little Swedish flag. So have you been on the new wheels yet, or what?
Not yet. I told you I got to get a little tan first because I'm going to be toe dragging the Cougars.
That'll help you get tan. A lot of people reaching out to us about Mars Blade. Again, this is the best innovation in rollerblades and roller hockey of anything we've ever seen before. And it's got hockey people behind it. Guys like Zetterberg, Henrik Zetterberg, man, all-time legend.
Yeah.
Nicholas Cromwell, who probably crushed Cam once or twice, coming down the wall inside the offensive zone.
I never had the puck.
Well, he's part of Mars Blade. And you got Michael Backlund, who I was very impressed with Calgary. I mean, he's a damn good player.
Yeah, really good player.
Just a bunch of guys. Austin Matthews is one of the main guys, man. He's on these Mars Blades all the time. And plus, they've got the holders for your ice skates, too, man. We call them toques, whatever. But the holders where the blade goes in, check those out. Take your ice skating to the next level. Listen, I've been on these rollerblades. Ty's been on the rollerblades. They're the closest thing to ice skates that I've ever experienced.
Yeah. Dude, that's how we made the NHL. Patty and I rollerbladed. That's how we got good. We can't just rent ice all the fucking time. No, you go to a park. It's cheap. You get them goddamn hard wheels for that goddamn thing and go stick handle that biscuit puck. I had all the guys come out. We'd just skate around the park, fucking miles and miles. Yeah, there it is right there, Andy. But you're you're gonna. But I'll tell you this though: you stick handle and there's high grass, you're gonna lose pucks, and you're gonna try to dig in there. And the black one, I get an orange one. You got to be loud, and so because there's snakes in that mug too, and you're like, I gotta get that puck again.
What are you talking about? Where?
If you go to a park and you're stick handling around, and you'll lose the puck once in a while. And it'll go into the grass, and you're like, "Fuck, where's that?" Like, get in there with you. Just watch out for snakes.
Yeah, watch out for snakes.
Yeah.
My neighbor out by the garden has been telling me that we have snakes out there, and I've never seen a snake in my yard. The little black and white ones, he says.
Yeah, whatever.
But check out MarsBlade.com. These dudes are unbelievable, and it's all hockey people. All the biggest names in the game, dude. Anton Strawman. We can go on and on and on.
Oh, I love him. I love him as a teammate.
Nyquist.
Oh, God. He was a sweetheart, Anton. I'll give you a little shout out, buddy. You were so nice. I love you.
Yeah. I believe Patty Maroon actually has a pair of these, too. So.
Never heard of him.
Well, look him up.
We love Patty.
He's got a
he's a rollerblade mother.
He holds 3 fingers up in every picture. Maybe 4 coming up, Cam. You never know. Could you imagine?
He might.
He'll win his 5th next year.
Take me to that cup party again.
Yeah. Mars Blade, baby. We love having them on board with us as well. All right, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, at Cam and Strick. It's that easy. Get on there. You can follow our individual accounts as well and communicate with us, man. We love talking to our to our listeners. All right, let's get to Mark Messier, the captain.
Big dick.
He called Game 7. He said we will win Game 6, and he scores a hat trick, Cam. Legendary stuff from Mark Messier, who owned New York City, hanging out with celebrities like Madonna. We didn't really get into it.
I know. We had to be respectful, but anytime I asked him about something, he's like
that, you just got to be respectful.
He loves Eddie Vedder, which we all love too.
Yeah. Okay.
Pearl Jam, Andy. Good Lord.
That's his boy, Eddie Vedder.
I
know that, man. A lot of those guys are tight with him. I'm tight with like Trey Anastasio and stuff like that from Fish and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, let's get to Mark Messier. Enjoy this on the Cam and Strick Podcast. The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. Nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and right off the bat, you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM. Or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now to the interview.
Man.
Is this the Messiah?
Hey guys, what's going on?
What up, big dog? What are you doing, man?
I'm fencing.
What are you doing? You're fencing.
Fencing.
Are you a fencer?
I'm a farmer, but
No, he's fixing a fence, Andy.
Oh,
He's not,
okay.
no. I'm literally fencing the perimeter of the yard.
Oh, you do your own fence? You don't have someone that does that for you,
Yeah.
Mess? Like, how does that work?
I learned a long time ago that I do most things that I can myself, and if I can't do it, at least I know how much a job is worth and what I'm willing to pay to get it done. So I like to do stuff, everything I can. If I can't do it out of my scope of ability, then at least I have an idea. So
how'd you learn all that? Like growing up? Like, because I feel like I'm so one-dimensional.
I can't do anything.
We can't do shit, Mess. Like, how'd you learn that?
Yes, you can. I'll tell you what, you got to take advantage of the technology out there. You go on YouTube, you can figure out how to fix anything and do anything, and then you just got to follow instructions there. So
yeah, see, there's my problem. Following instructions. I can't do that. Yeah, there you go.
Man.
Well, you did okay job.
Yeah. You don't have to be on TV today? Like, I thought, what's your TV schedule like nowadays?
I'm my son just got married, Lion, my older boy, and my younger son Douglas just graduated from high school, and I'm off to Toronto and Calgary. So I'm back on the set on the 28th, and looking forward to it.
Where you living right now? Connecticut?
I live just outside New York City, Greenwich, Connecticut.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect
There you go.
there,
I've seen your dad on the bench, by the way, coaching against him for like that mid Fairfield team. That was years ago. Is he still coaching or no?
No, he didn't. He ran that New York Rangers Pee Wee that went to Quebec tournament for years, and then things changed a bit, so he just backed out of it, and he's just watching me on TV now.
How is a TV thing? Like, do you feel like you got to just, really keep up with everything, Mess? You know, you're trying to fix your fence, you're doing this, but really you got to watch highlights all damn day.
Well, I was watching hockey 24/7 before I even took the gig, so I always followed the game just because as a fan, just because I'm interested in the young players coming up, the team, the dynamics, all the things that happen in regular season, of course, the playoffs. But I'm fascinated with Tampa trying to go for a three-peat in this modern day era is incredible, and so I've always been a fan. I've always watched a lot of hockey, and I really enjoy obviously the sport.
Listen, well, yeah, you played forever, like into your 40s and everything. Like, how hard was that for you to walk away? Like, did you really want to quit? Like, or how'd you know it was the right time to do it?
Well, you just know, you have a feeling, what it takes to prepare. When I got to my age at 44, it was incredibly difficult to mix the amount of workout and then the production that you get. I spent more time resting than working out, so it's diminishing returns at a certain age. And and if I couldn't play at the level that I wanted to, at least be a contributor at some point, it was just time for me. I had a great lifetime of hockey, and from the minors to the pros, and played with some incredible people. So for me, it was just time.
Yeah, you did. Hey, how's your body, man? Like, everything okay?
Probably looks like mine.
You look the same, by the way. You don't age, just so you know, which is a good thing.
No, I feel great. I got out of it with only one arthroscopic surgery on my shoulder. I had some injuries, but that was the only operation I ever had, and I got out of it with knees and shoulders and everything good. Obviously, a lot of scar tissue here and there, but overall pretty good for 26 years pro.
Okay, what was your off-season workout regimen like? I mean, how you got yourself, revved up mentally? Are you genetically gifted in terms of your physique, or did you have to work at it?
I definitely had some great genetics from my dad. He was an incredibly well put together guy in his era. He was a tough right-hand defenseman, played for keeps, as they say. But I was lucky enough to fall into the hands of one of the world's strongest men, who was a friend of our assistant coach in junior when I turned 15. And we started working out fairly early. I saw the benefits right away at that exact age where you really can start to see the growth and obviously the testosterone and all that happening and getting stronger and feeling better on the ice. And so I worked out my whole career, and by the time I got to the pros, I was, in incredible condition. And then just continued on. In my off season, we played a lot of hockey for a lot of years, but my off season was always training and getting ready and stronger and, just to compete. And I wanted to be the best I could be. And one of the things that you realize that one of the things you can control is your conditioning and your work ethic and all that. So I wanted that to not be something that hindered me from being the best player I could be.
Man, the world's
Write
strongest
that down,
man.
Andy, by the way. Good
the
Lord.
world's strongest man. You ever seen those TV shows, The World's Strongest Man? They're like pulling semi trucks.
Yeah, they're throwing the big barrels.
Was that who you're working out with? Like, what was this guy doing? Like picking up cars or what?
It was a lot different then, and of course the technology and the way we work out is a lot different then. A lot of powerlifting back then. A lot of, like you talk about, those guys are massive, building bulk. But I water skied, and so I was strong from that in the lower back and in the biceps and hands and grip and all that, and just did a lot of cross training on top of the heavy weights. But as the sophistication in our sport in technology and weight training and, equipment changed, I obviously had to change with the times in order to, to keep up with the younger players coming in and take advantage of the new ways of training.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Like you see some of these young kids when you get a little bit older and they're doing different things. You're like, what are you guys doing down there? Like, what do you got going? Oh, speed training. Oh, okay, I'll try that. But let me ask you something though. You grew up in Edmonton and you play there for so long. You're so damn successful. You're an absolute superstar. Like, at the end of that, were you like, get me out of this bubble? Like, Andy and I grew up in St. Louis. I played here, and it's a bubble here. I can only imagine how that was for you in Edmonton.
Well, I guess in a way, I never felt that way personally in Edmonton. It was incredible for me to, be a young minor hockey league player in Edmonton, and to get a professional team in the WHA. In 1972, when I was 10, 11 years old, was incredible. And see all the Bobby Hull and Gordie Howe and Dave Keon and all these icons that were in the NHL move to the WHA. And then, lo and behold, for us in Edmonton, the outpost of the NHL, to get an NHL franchise as an Edmontonian, never mind a hockey player, as an Edmontonian, it was incredible. We couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. And then, of course, I got drafted there, and then Wayne obviously came and within the teams that we had, and then 5 cups later, for me personally, it wasn't so much that I wanted to get out of there. It was just time for me as a person and as a hockey player to change. Change is, inevitable for every athlete at some point, and most athletes anyways. And for me, I just needed a different challenge. The team was going to rebuild, and I was looking for something that exactly happened in New York. Of course, I didn't know what was going to happen when I went to New York, but I wanted to play for Original Six team. I wanted to live in New York City and soak up everything it had to offer. And thankfully it worked out. But what an incredible experience that was, going from Edmonton, which is, like you talk about, so intense with hockey, and then going to New York and wondering if that intensity from the fan base was going to be there. And it didn't take me long to realize that New York had an incredibly intense fan base, and it's one of the things I think is so important to propel a team to a championship.
Okay, Mess. Now listen, like we've seen this with like Brady and Belichick, even like Kobe and Shaquille O'Neal. Like you're winning all these Stanley Cups with Wayne, but like, what did it mean for you to be able to win a cup without Wayne? Like when he left, and then in New York, to be like, what? I didn't just rely on Wayne Gretzky. I'm the man. I can be the man as well. Like that had to be pretty, rewarding for you deep down, right?
Well, it's funny. The year that he left, we were hearing it pretty regularly from all the other players in the league that were nothing without Gretzky, and so we kind of took that as a chip on our shoulder. And sure enough, we ended up playing LA in the first round and losing to LA, and then we heard even more after that that we couldn't win without Gretzky, but. I think what really showed the world, or at least the hockey fans anyways, is that, you don't win with one person. No one wins alone. You need a team in order to win, and you need to play like a team. And as great as Wayne was, and we would have never won those 5 cups without him, the amount of talent and heart and grit and soul and character that was on the team was evident when he left, and we're able to win that 5th cup together, because I can tell you, we weren't the most talented team in the league then, but we knew how to win, and we had a lot of experience and, like I said, a lot of heart and grit and determination.
Okay, but when he leaves, like, are you pissed at the organization? Are you pissed at Wayne? Like, I mean, listen, you're Mark Messier, like Wayne Gretzky's leaving, like that couldn't have sat well with you like initially, right?
Couldn't believe it when I heard that with the smoke there's fire. When someone had mentioned that they're trading Wayne Gretzky, and I go, what are you talking about? He's in the peak of his career. We just won 4 Stanley Cups together, and what are they going to trade him? And sure enough, they did trade him. And to your point, I couldn't believe it. Of course, I was mad at everything and everybody, from the organization to the owner to everybody. What transpired, to be honest with you, was a great lesson for me, and I think the rest of our team is that when the smoke had cleared, the training camp came around, and as pissed as we were, we needed to get back to work. We still had an incredible legacy to live up to. We galvanized around it in a way, and I don't know if that's good or bad or indifferent, but we needed to let those feelings go. Of course, nobody can is effective playing with all that resentment in their hearts and all that. So we were able to kind of let it go and move on, and felt they had a big responsibility first and foremost to each other. We couldn't let each other down, right? Because we'd just been through so many wars. So we got to come to the rink every day and play for each other like we had in the past. And, the fans deserved more. They were pissed as well, but, they kept coming and watching us. So, it all worked out in the end, I guess, in some ways or another.
Well, yeah, and we had Wayne on. We also had Bruce McNall on too. It's kind of crazy, hearing totally them, tell their stories and their version of it. It's kind of interesting.
Hey, Mess, let me ask you something. I'm up, Andy. Thank you. Let me ask you something. So when you go to New York, it's so different than Edmonton. You're a leader of that team. Even the little things that you have to do as far as being a leader, setting up parties, doing this, doing that. Explain the difference between Edmonton and New York. Okay, guys, I'm going to meet you guys here. Wait a minute, I'm 30 minutes late because of the traffic, because I didn't know, because I'm from Edmonton. I didn't understand the city. It must have been just a kind of a mind fuck for you for a little bit there.
Well, I did miss the practice after a Halloween party. I was a little, I'd served myself a little too much, and got in a taxi to go up to our practice facility out of town, and the taxi went across the George Washington Bridge into New Jersey instead of going up to Rye, New York. So that was a bit of an experience. But for the most part, logistics in New York did bring in a different challenge in some ways of galvanizing the team together. Both Brian and I, Leach and I, were the only two people or players living in the city at that time. Mike Richter eventually followed, and by the time '94 rolled around, pretty much everybody was living up here, or down in the city. I think one of the things that we did that was really smart for us, anyways, is that we created one of the first green rooms for the wives and families and friends. And what that did, and this was before green rooms even existed. What it did for us is that we made it mandatory that everybody had to go up there and at least have one beer or soda, or at least say hello to everybody. And what the importance of it was is that we got to know each other's families. We got to know each other more. We spent time after games, suffered the disappointments after a loss together, celebrated the wins. And then everybody was free to go wherever they wanted there. But that half hour or whatever after games, for the most part, was really important. And obviously, as you guys know, it became a celebrity hangout, and any celebrity that was in the game wanted to be up there. So it became the hottest ticket in town for the after party, and then everybody could go where they wanted. But New York did bring different challenges, from a living perspective, from the size of the city, how you bus in and out in 2 games. As you guys know, in New York City, we'd practice outside in Rye Playland back then, and then go in and stay in a hotel or in our apartments. So there was just a lot of different, just finer logistics that, the team had to work around to bring the team together. Busing to New Jersey or Long Island or getting to airports and all that kind of stuff. But nothing's impossible, and we had an amazing team here back then to handle all that and travel and make the things incredibly comfortable for the players. I had never seen that, to be honest with you. I mean, we had, 4 or 5 or 6, team assistants that, did everything for us there. So that was that was new to me as well. There was no shortage of a budget back then.
Yeah,
no. Hey, listen, we had Ron Duguay on with us too. I'm sure he was sniffing around that family room.
Sniffing around.
But, listen, Mark, like you go from Edmonton where you're like a hockey celebrity, and all of a sudden you go to New York and you're a hockey celebrity, but now you're hanging out with all these other celebrities and you just turn into like a celebrity. Was that natural for you? Were you comfortable with it? And like how, eye-opening was that for you just to kind of enjoy that lifestyle?
It was amazing, to be honest with you. I didn't come here for that, but I certainly had my fair share of fun. I didn't miss out on anything. The one thing that I knew coming to New York, that I had to stay out of the tabloids. So, I made a rule never to go out before a game, you know what I mean? Just because I didn't want to have to deal with that kind of attention or negative attention. And I wanted to be obviously the best I could be on any given night, but it didn't stop me from going out after games or when we had days off and meeting people and going to different events. And what you really realize pretty quickly is everybody's just another normal human being in their own way, and they can do something really well. And a lot of times the celebrities or, so-called celebrities would be super shy in public. And you just realize that everybody's just having a good time and working their way through life. And, a lot of times it was really easy conversation. But something I'll never forget, to be honest with you, because, met a lot of good friends, a lot of celebrity great friends, and remained friends years after.
Yeah, I get you on that. And let me ask you about our buddy Ty. We've had Ty Domi on here, and I think a lot of people know the story about him being wild and his fights, and a lot of the attention was on him, and he's kind of like creating this whole persona about himself. But when you saw him and when he was out there doing his thing as a leader, like you had to kind of sit his ass down and be like, look, dude, like you got to chill out a little bit. It's a team thing. Like, explain what you had to say to Ty when he was doing all those antics and fighting Probert and, getting that kind of crowd riled up. But I know you had to sit him down.
Yeah, I remember in the playoffs, Dave Semenko getting the puck over by our bench and threading a beautiful pass to Gretzky up the middle against the Islanders in game 4 or 5, I guess, in 1984. And I realized that, in order to sustain yourself as an enforcer, as a tough guy, you got to be able to play and you got to work at your game. You got to be in practice and you got to be working on your skills. You got to contribute in a lot of different ways. And I saw Ty was a talented guy. I mean, I think you guys know he kicked a field goal in the CFL. He was a soccer player.
Yeah.
He was a talented guy. And sometimes, anybody can kind of lose track of the bigger picture and what it's all about. And for me, I just wanted to let Ty know that he was a good hockey player. He could play in the league for a long time. Of course, he was one of the toughest guys I ever played with, and one of the best enforcers that I ever played with, because he knew what his job was. But he also had to be able to contribute from a playing standpoint, and not to be considered a clown, and get the respect. I mean, he's going to obviously get the respect from the guys that he's fighting because he was super tough. But, I think the integrity part of it was important for him. And he was a great kid. I think it was a mistake to trade him back then, to be honest with you. He was, of course, we had Joey Kosher and Jay Wells, and we had a super tough team. But, I saw a lot of great qualities in Ty as a guy that you could win a cup with, and I was disappointed to see him get traded.
Yeah, he loves you, man.
Listen, man, we've had Keenan on.
We've had everybody on.
But I mean, listen, so many people have so many crazy stories about this guy, Mark. From Brett Hull, Tony Amonte, we've had Neil Smith on too. Like, everyone has like their own like wild, crazy Mike Keenan stories. It goes beyond just those guys. But the perception was always like that you liked him, you got along with him. Like, what was it about you that allowed yourself to get along with Mike? And did you ever have a problem with the way he was treating some of your teammates? Because, some of these stories sounds like he really crossed the line.
Well, I didn't personally see him cross the line, at least in a group gathering.
Yeah.
What happened behind closed doors, I can't, if I wasn't in the room, I can't speak to that. But what I did recognize with Mike right away is that he had the ability to hold everybody accountable. He didn't let anybody go to sleep. Whether it was a practice in the middle of a week and with a couple of days off to game day to the first shift, he kept everybody on their toes. And I think that's a huge quality in any coach and certainly a team that's trying to win a a Stanley Cup. It's human nature to take your foot off the throttle at times and take the easy way out. But so I thought he did a great job of that. I thought he did also a great job of being a bench coach. His bench coach, to me, was probably as good or better than any coach I ever had. He knew how to get the right players on the ice at the right time. He knew who was playing well. He knew who to play and when to play them and matchups. And so he was great at that. And for me, I guess, coming to New York originally and, winning the President's Trophy the first year, missing the playoffs the second year, hiring Mike, and then seeing the opportunity that we had and the talent we had with Mike Richter and Brian Leetch and Alex Kovalev and Zubov and all this. Like I knew we had a talented team, but you need a coach to really be able to. As a captain, you can't do everything in that regard. You get the team knows that the captain has to be in the pit with the players, and then you talk to the coach and you galvanize this information channel through each other that resonates down to the team. But for me, Mike was great. Look he's the only coach to coach the New York Rangers to one Stanley Cup in the last 85 years. So it's hard to knock him. It's hard to knock him. Yeah. And the coach sometimes it can be a lonely position there because when you do hold the people accountable, when you hold them, responsible and you're trying to get the most out of them, sometimes it can be an uncomfortable place. But playing on a championship team is uncomfortable. Everybody thinks it's a lot of fun, and it is obviously when you win. But playing on a championship team can be pure hell, and we went through pure hell that year with Mike in a lot of ways. But ultimately, in the end, everybody had a great year. The team had a great year, and we're able to go on and win the Stanley Cup. So I have a hard time knocking Mike for that year personally.
No, I got you. Listen,
yeah, right.
And Kovalev has some stories too. But it's funny how you say like he was a great bench coach because he's probably like, hey, Mess, you're up, Mess, you're up again. And Holy said the same thing, man. He played the shit out of Holy, and he loved that also.
Mess knew he was up.
Hey, but listen, we're seeing all these great young defensemen in the game today. Cale Makar, Hedman, Heiskin, and all these guys.
Foxy.
And Adam Fox, man, in New York. You played with some incredible defensemen with Paul Coffey and obviously Brian Leetch and Sergei Zubov and all these guys. Like compare like those guys, and I hate to say compare, but you know what I'm saying, what they brought to the table, how they played with the new generation of these skating, offensive skilled defensemen.
Well, it's, one of the things because of the great players I played with, one of the things they had in common is they always made the people around them better. From Wayne to, Paul Coffey to Brian Leetch, Zubov, the list goes on. Their uncanny knack to be able to read the play and anticipate the plays, so far in advance. You watch Kucherov play right now. I mean, he's playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers in a way. I mean, he's so far ahead of everything that's happening on the ice, and then the skill to be able to execute anything that he wants to do. Makar, Hedman, I mean, Fox, the guys that you're talking about, Roman,
Yossi, handsome guy,
Yossi, these guys are tremendous hockey players, and they all do the same thing, especially in that position. We had it with Paul and back in the Oilers when we won cups with him. That guy that can bring the puck from the back end, and I'm not going to call it a rover position, but cover as much ice as that he did. I mean, he could go back and get pucks. He could skate the puck out. He could fire the 150-foot pass up the ice. He could get in on the forecheck. I mean, you just put the odometer on these guys when they play the game. The miles that they cover during a game is incredible. And then to be able to have the finish when they do get a chance, the shot, on the power play, penalty kill. I mean, they're incredible hockey players. Some of the best we're ever seen. Hedman to me is, with his size and what he's doing right now, he's going to go down as one of the best defensemen ever. And it's remarkable to see right now because there's so many great players, but these guys are really starting to stand out as, like I say, some, going to be iconic, superstars well, they already are, but certainly be recognized even more so in the near future.
All right. And goaltending too, with Grant Fuhr and Mike Richter, I mean, you play with some amazing goaltenders, but this Andre Vasileskiy, is he on the verge now of being included in the category of the Mario
dog
Brodeurs
category,
and the Patrick Roys of amongst the best to ever play that position. He may end up being the best goalie in the history of the game before it's all said and done. He's that good, Mark.
It's remarkable, incredible. Any word you want to describe what he's doing right now as a goaltender, especially with the amount of talent in the game and how players can score. I agree with you guys. I think right now you could consider him the best goalie to ever play the game. I know he probably doesn't have the wins has compiled the stats and has played long enough as some of the other guys like Brodeur and Patrick Roy, and that's pretty heady company when you start talking about those kinds of guys. But I watch him play. I see the size of him. I see how the style of goalies have been refined to the point where, with the power and explosiveness and quickness and the ability and talent that he has, it's basically impossible to score him unless he just loses concentration or something's deflected or whatever. But the stats that he's putting up right now is going to be hard to argue that he's not the best goalie ever played.
Yeah, he's good, man. Let me get back to '94 again. That whole run was so incredible. One of the best Stanley Cup runs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, literally ever.
Ever.
It was great for hockey.
Yeah.
But when you called that game, hey, explain that. By the way, look, you're the big boy. You I guess the reporter comes up to you and you're like, yeah, we're going to win. You guarantee it. You kind of didn't know what happened. And all of a sudden you see the paper the next day. And it's like, we will. Were you like, oh, son of a bitch? And you're like, no, what? I'm going to pull the bootstraps up, baby. I'm the leader of this team. Explain how that all went down, man.
Well, that is exactly what happened when I saw the paper the next day.
You're like, what did I
You're
say?
like, oh, boy, I got to do one thing now.
And Brian Leach in his deadpan way goes, I guess we're going to win tonight, right? But for me, it was all about confidence. We had played with so much confidence all year. I wanted the players to know that I believed we could win the game. We had beaten New Jersey 6 times during the regular season. And we had to figure out a way to play better. But the way to figure out a way to play better is you got to believe you can play better. You got to believe you can win. Yep. And without the belief, the roof starts to cave in pretty quickly. So, I was just trying to figure out a way to, let the players know personally that I really believe we could go in there and win the game, because we did. We had before. And we had to go figure out a way to play better, harder, and execute better against a great New Jersey Devil team. So that's where the inspiration was for. Of course, I kind of over-calculated who would be listening to that message. It was only really meant for our players. But, when a splash on the paper is the next game. But to be honest with you, I didn't even care at that point. I know how close we were. I didn't care what New Jersey Devils thought about it. If they needed to use that as inspiration, that to me was a positive for us. So at that point, I didn't care. I was willing to do anything to get that win and move on.
Yeah, but Mark, that's what stuff like what legends are made of, right? I mean, you look back on it, it's like the greatest statement you ever made, because now everybody does it. Everybody tries to guarantee
and
that
they don't. Yeah.
It wasn't something everybody was doing at the time. So I mean, you have to look back at it, and like it's probably one of the best things you've ever said, considering how it all worked out for you.
Well, I don't really consider it in those terms. I think as a captain, you're always monitoring your team. Every morning you walk in there, you're monitoring the energy, the confidence of every player. You're aware of who is having a problem with a coach. You're aware of who's having a problem at home. You're aware of who's struggling, who's been in a slump. So you got all this energy that you're trying to focus into the direct channel to winning. And so I didn't really look at it in those terms. I was, as a captain, for me personally, it was really as simple as just trying to figure out a way to get the guys focused to believe we could go in and win the game. And every game that I played, I was trying to figure out a way to win, whether, this happened to be, extraordinary circumstances, obviously, because of the 54-year drought and, being down after a great year, and here we go again, and not the same old Ranger team, and But for me, it was simple as that. Is just trying to figure out a way to win a game.
All right, describe what it was like for you in New York City, though. I mean, you go out after a win or whatever. You go to a bar, you go to a club. Guys go with you. Like, Explain what it was like to be Mark Messier in New York City at the height of it all, Mark. I mean, you could do whatever you wanted to there.
It was incredible, to be honest with you. When I came to New York, one of the things I wanted to come to New York, obviously, to play for the Original Six, the challenge of not have a team that hadn't won in 51 years, but to experience living in the city as an athlete and everything that it encompassed, and I didn't shortchange myself in any way.
Oh, I bet.
I got the experience New York in its full bloom. And I loved every minute of it as an athlete. It was incredible. The energy, you realize that Madison Square Garden is the biggest stage in the city, and there's a lot of theater that goes on. There's a lot of performances that go on, but there's none bigger than New York, than Madison Square Garden. And we're on stage 41 games a year plus playoffs. So it was like that. And then, of course, after and going out and events and charities and concerts and everything. I mean, it was incredible, and obviously welcomed everywhere. And as a team in '94, getting the key to the city kind of was a culmination of all that hard work that we put in to win that cup.
Yeah,
I got a key to Eureka, Missouri. By the way,
I got a key to my car. Is what I got, Mess. No, because like Derek Jeter. I mean, like what these guys are going through, and like just how much fun they're having. I mean. Is it hard to play in New York, or is it easy to play in New York?
What about for the young kids?
Yeah.
What about for the young kids?
It just depends how you look at it. For me, I never found it hard to play in New York. I loved it. I loved the attention. I loved the pressure. I loved the microscope that the team was under. I realized the passion of the fan base, being able to talk to the media and get our team message to the fans was important. You had to be honest and hardworking and not bullshitting anybody. And I think the fans appreciated that. I think if you're out, doing the wrong things and you're a good guy when you're winning and miserable when you're losing to the press, that doesn't last very long. You know what I mean? So I think if you're just an honest, hardworking guy that's there to win and a great team guy, and you're enjoying everything around you, which you should. I mean, these kids should be having a great time. I know there's a lot of pressure on these kids in Toronto, but they should be having a good time and not being, not drowning in the pressure to win a Stanley Cup and all that. They're in the peaks of their lives from a person standpoint and from an athletic standpoint. And if they're not having a good time now, when are they going to have a good time?
That's true, man. Although the only bitch of it is if you're not making like $3 million, you're in like a 500 square foot apartment in New York. But other than that, it's great. I
would have lived in a shoebox to play sports in New York City, man.
I get you.
You know what I mean? You're there for one reason, and I learned that from Wayne a long time ago. He said everything he had was because of the game of hockey, and he never forgot it, and that became a priority for him. So, You're an athlete in the city. There, your craft, your workmanship, your workouts, your game time, that's a priority, and everything else has to take a backseat to that. And if you do that, people recognize it pretty quickly.
Damn right. No, you're right. Absolutely right on that. Let me ask you real quick though about the celebrities, like. You're everywhere, and a lot of these guys and girls are robots, and they're like, I am a celebrity, and you're very outgoing and stuff like that. Anybody that you really connected with that's kind of a big dog, where like, this guy's down to earth, or this girl's down to earth?
So many. Tim Robbins, Susan Sarandon, Eddie Vedder, everybody came through. I remember, meeting Howard Cosell in my first year. He came back to the back of the dressing room to say hello. I mean, the list of celebrities that came through there that wanted to say hello or come up to the green room was astonishing, and everybody came through there literally through those years. And but like I said earlier, what you realize is they're just down to earth people. They do something really well and they get recognized for it, but when you meet them and go have a beer with them, it's just
Eddie Vedder down to earth. I've met him
amazing,
before. Isn't he a cool cat? Chicago guy, man. He loves
that guy, and I know he's good friends with Chris Chelios, and Cheli speaks so highly of him there. But he went out with us a few times to a few bars after games, and what a just a gem of a guy. Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Hey, listen, I love what you said about these young guys, man. This is the time of their life.
Damn
They're in the
right.
prime of their careers.
Yes.
But like we watch Connor McDavid sometimes, and he seems like he doesn't smile. He's not having fun. He's playing incredible hockey right now, and he's an incredible player. We all know that. But like, put yourself in his shoes. Young guy, superstar, Edmonton, like what's he dealing with? And like, what would your advice be to him? Would you be like, hey, smile a little more, like have a little more fun with the press? Because like Draisaitl, he's combative sometimes, although I don't always love the questions and whatever they're thrown at him. Yeah. But like, what do you tell these guys, man, just in terms about being in the spotlight there?
Well, if I was on the team playing with him right now, I'd say whatever you're doing, don't change anything, because
yeah, right.
Dude. He is playing at a level that very few of us have ever seen in the sport of hockey. I think it's important for everybody to be themselves too. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's having a great time. We might not see it, you know what I mean? That might frustrate some people, but my guess is that they're having a really good time, and he might be just a quiet, down home kind of earth guy, and and that's okay. You know what I mean? Because the most important thing is what he's doing on the ice, and and I would never tell anybody to be somebody or try to be somebody that they're not on or off the ice. And to me, I think it's incredible what he's doing. And there's enough superstars out there that are extroverts and they're doing crazy things, and we're all having a good time with. But for him, I just tell him to continue to be himself and focus in on the most important thing, and that's the game on the ice.
Hey, listen, like when Wayne Gretzky's a rock star, like when you're in Edmonton, you played for a year with him in New York as well. Like, how did he handle it? Like all the attention and just deal with it, because it seemed like it never really got to him. Like he's one of those superstars that was able to deal with it. Like, did you learn anything from him from that regard?
I did learn incredible amount with from Wayne in that regard. First of all, his work ethic. Second of all, his the way he handled the press, the way he respected the press, the way he respected people that came up to him in so many ways. I mean, it was just unbelievable, to be honest with you.
Did other players ever get jealous of like his celebrity, and how did he maintain those relationships within the locker room where he didn't make everybody else feel like they were smaller than him?
Was he too big?
And like, what did you learn from him that you were able to take with you as your, brand just continued to grow and explode?
I don't think that I know of, and I think I can speak for almost anybody that I played with, that we played with Wayne together, that anybody ever once felt any animosity or jealousy toward him. And what I did learn very early on is that you can't treat every player the same. And anybody that tries to do that on the team is because not every one player are the same as the guy sitting next to you, and they need to be treated different. They need different things in order for them to be successful. And of course, Wayne and the demands on him, if we would have treated him, or if the management or coaching would have treated him like some of the other guys, it wouldn't have worked for Wayne. From the way that he got onto the bus, the way he got out of the hotel, it was incredible. He was a rock star. Everybody wanted a piece of him. And so, for Wayne himself, he treated everybody with unbelievable kindness. He made everybody feel part of it. He made everybody, and he shared his success with everybody, from the trainers to the doctors to the coaches to everybody in the organization. So, we were all pulling for him. We wanted him to succeed because of it. And, when you talk about leadership, Wayne wasn't the guy that spoke a lot in the room, but, his actions and what he did and how he presented himself and how he treated the people around him were incredible life lessons. And, not rarely in life can you look up to somebody that's 8 days younger than me. But I learned a lot from Wayne from the first day of training camp. And I recognize that there's a reason why he's the best player in the world. And if I wanted to improve, I should start trying to do some of the things and practices that he had, from a work ethic to a practice, to his games, for his competitiveness, to his focus, and most importantly, the way he treated people around him, and not only the players from around the team, but the fans alike. I mean, don't forget, back then we were traveling commercial. We would have long layovers in airports.
Oh my God!
And of course, everybody recognized Wayne, and everybody wanted a picture for him. I mean, it was incredible. So God bless him for the patience that he showed from fans and media and everyone alike, and is one of the reasons why he's so highly respected.
Yeah, it's interesting because, as like, he's got a house here in St. Louis. We see him. He comes down to the studio, whatever, and he is like so down to earth and such a nice human being. It's incredible. But like, okay, so how much did you know about him before you first saw him on the ice? Like, were you like, okay, I hear this guy's amazing. We'll see if he's truly that good. And like, what made him like so great? Like, outside of his brain and how he anticipated it and everything, like, was he just that much better than everybody else? Because it's hard to truly understand how somebody can be that good in comparison to the rest of the players.
Well, I the first time I heard about Wayne, I grew up on the west coast of Canada. So the first time I heard about Wayne, he got written up as a 10-year-old or 9-year-old in the Canadian magazine. So it'd be like Time magazine or something like that for Canada. It was Canadian magazine. It was a well sought after publication, and they did a next big expose on Wayne, this 9-year-old phenom who scored 370 goals and 400 and some assists in 1 year, and just nobody could believe it, and a can't miss prospect. And so that's when Wayne got on my radar, obviously. And then, of course, through junior hockey and then turning pro at the same time. So I knew of Wayne. I'd never met him to our first training camp in Edmonton. And, we got on right away as friends, fast friends, going through the same things, obviously, and whatnot. When you say what made Wayne so much better than everybody else, it's hard to quantify it in just sheer talent. But I think if you started there, an incredible gifted athlete, no question. Lacrosse, a great baseball player. Everything he did, he was good at it, super competitive. From a hockey standpoint, I don't think people ever recognized how good a skater he was, because when he came into the league there, he had a unique style there. He was really bent over at the waist, and his stick, had an incredibly low lie as compared to most players, most players stand up and skate with their back up and in a crouch position. Wayne was really bent over at the waist, and so that was different. Nobody thought that was going to be effective at the National Hockey League level. But his skating, his edging, his turning it was more on par with what you kind of see these guys doing now. His change of direction, his anticipation. He might not have been the fastest guy. Everybody says he's not the fastest guy I ever played. Well, we would do races in practice, 3, 4, 5 lap races for conditioning, and he would beat Paul Coffey and everybody out there, Glenn Anderson, no problem. I never saw him lose a race to a puck because of his anticipation. He knew where the puck was going, and he was already headed there and didn't change of direction there. So he never lost a race to a puck. And just the ability to process the game, like we talked about early in the interview about Kucherov and how he's processing the game so much quicker than most, and then have the talent to be able to execute, a 50-foot saucer pass through the seams on power plays over to Stamkos. Well, Wayne, how many guys tried to do what Wayne did by standing behind the net, and how easy a target they became when they tried it. The defenseman would just go in behind there and take the puck off him, but nobody could get the puck off Wayne when he was back there, and they tried to come from both sides, and they still couldn't get it, and he could find the open man. So there's just so many things that I saw and witnessed over those years of what made him special, and none more than his work ethic and his competitiveness. He wanted to win. He wanted to be a special player. He wanted to go down as the best player ever play the game. He was on a mission to do that. He was in the right position at the right time with the right people and coach and players around him to help him do that. And then his competitiveness, just wanted to win so bad. And all that rubbed off on the team alone. You know what I mean? It was an incredible experience. I got to witness genius every day for 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah, you did. And he won that race against like a Pele and a couple other guys, like a sprint thing. It's on YouTube. I'm like, oh my God, he blew everybody's doors off. Like, you wouldn't know that. But let me ask you something, Mess. Like, okay, at the end of your career, you've done it all. You're the man. Everybody knows it. And so whenever you're later on in your career and you're playing and like a new coach is telling you what to do, like, was it difficult to balance that? Like, were you like, no, I know what's right. I've done this before. Like, was it hard to deal with coaches, like line changes, if there's a penalty kill and you're like, no, I'm up because I know what to do? Like, how'd you balance that later on in your career?
Well, that's a great question, actually, but I grew up with a lot of respect for authority and, police officers to anybody in position of authority, and with a lot of respect. And I looked at coaches as that person of authority and should be respected. What I recognized at some point in my career is that coaches don't know everything. Mm-hmm. that was really an amazing revelation for me that, here I've held the guy that had the title as a coach that in this really kind of high regard, but the reality is that coaches don't know everything. They are in a learning curve and a learning process as well. They make mistakes. They make the wrong choices. And the relationship that you establish with the coach, certainly as a captain, is paramount to team success. And hopefully the coach is smart enough to let go of his ego and acknowledge that he's made mistakes, because to hold himself to that standard is just unsustainable. And I think you go through the beauty of it, for me anyways, it was to go through this whole, journey with a team and of course a coach who's a big part of it together, and to try to figure out how to win and try to figure out what's best for the team and try to figure out what's best for the individuals. And of course, ultimately, the coach has to make a decision. Ultimately, that's because that's a position he's in. But I always get back to any championship that we watch on TV. There's inevitably an amazing embrace between the captain and the coach, from Brady to Belichick to any Scotty Bowman and Eiserman. Just go.
Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson, all those guys.
You name it. Name it. Shaq, Kobe, you name it. There, because that relationship is fostered, and the coach has challenged those players. He's helped them. He's made them better. But the player, in a reverse way, has helped that coach become a better coach and more understanding and all that. So that symbiotic relationship is absolutely critical. And one of the things that I really enjoyed was working with the coaches that I played with, and some were better than others, obviously, but the ones that and I enjoyed Keenan, as crazy as he was, and as much crap he's taken for the year here in New York. I enjoyed the relationship with him, and we were able to get it done. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no, it's so well said, man. Yep, I'm curious, like, how you look at like historic records, because. Listen, you could have hung on for another year and broken, Gordie Howe's all-time games played record. Yep. And it was kind of like, okay, so Patrick Marleau, he continues to play and play. Like, it was obvious that, part of that motivation probably was to break Gordie Howe's record. And like, okay, they say records are meant to be broken, but are they? Are they all meant to be broken? And I'm curious your thoughts on that. And then the idea of Ovechkin breaking Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record, which, he probably will do, because I just don't see him quitting. He's not going to stop playing. This guy's still scoring 50 goals. They don't cover him on the power play, Andy. He's still scoring 50 goals a year. What do you think when you see some of those historic records fall? And did you ever think about breaking Gordie Howe's record? Was that something you wanted, to do?
Well, so many people wanted me to keep playing in order to do that, and I just would. My same question to answer would be all the time. Well, what difference is that going to make?
Yeah,
I never played. I played for one reason, and that was to win. I played every game that I dressed for. my sole intention going to that game, whether it's an exhibition game, regular season, playoff, or Stanley Cup, was to win the game. I never envisioned myself playing professional hockey for 26 years. I never envisioned myself, high up on the point leaderboard. I was never that kind of player. And so I never really thought about it. I never thought about compiling statistics. They happened because I was able to play and stay healthy long enough and play with great teams and great players, but it certainly wasn't a focus of mine. I didn't keep anything. I was so unaware of all that kind of thing. I didn't even really recognize the Hall of Fame until years later, going into and what it meant. Even as a young pro, I never thought about the Hall of Fame. I thought about winning a Stanley Cup. So records and for me just wasn't part of anything that I was really focusing on. I think the records are incredible, and I think one of the biggest things that we always have to protect is the history of our game, and not make changes so much that we can't compare players from past and present. I think that's the beauty of a fan in our sport is, you can compare in some ways anyways, in at least the modern day area with Bobby Orr and Wayne and Lemieux, now to Sidney and Ovechkin, and because they're similar. Of course, we have overtime and there's been some red line and certain changes, but for overall, I think there's some kind of way that you can kind of hold, at least make an argument for the player that you like best. So I think there are records, and if anybody's going to break some of these records that have stood test of time for a long time, God bless them. They've obviously put the work in. They're talented. They're working at their craft, and if they can do it, then good for them. Ovechkin breaking Wayne's record, I don't think it's a given. I think he's been remarkably healthy, which gets me back to Wayne. How you talk about a superstar and the durability of Wayne through his career. If not a big man, but he was so elusive, he was hard to get to. So if Ovechkin can stay healthy, and Backstrom stays around, and Kuznetsov and there's guys that are incredibly talented, putting him in to get him those pucks in the right areas there, he does have a chance to do it, which is hard to believe. And if he does do it, then I think we all got to take our hats off to him and recognize an incredible accomplishment, because not many years ago, nobody ever thought that would be, approachable. But sure enough, here he is on the, 2 or 3 years away from actually having a chance to do it if he stays healthy.
Yeah, and he's crushing guys in the process. Over 3,000 hits in a play. He's just an anomaly.
He's a machine. There's no question. And the thing I like best about Ovi is that he really buckled down when Trotz got there and realized that in order to win a Stanley Cup, he was going to have to change his game, and he did that, and right. Because of it, they were able to win.
Yeah, blocking shots, getting back checking, like you could tell, like just watching him, like he's doing different things. Like he's.
Well, look at Tampa last night.
Yeah,
look at the sacrifices Tampa made to. Of course they won 4 straight, but nobody predicted that.
Nope.
I actually picked them to win in 6 games, but I think that in order to win that series, the sacrifices that, just blocking shots, the dirty work, it was incredible. And anybody watching that, like, young player that's not even in the NHL, but any NHL player that's looking at it and you're wondering, how do you win? That's how you freaking win. Yes. I mean, you don't get it handed to you. You got to earn it. And I'll tell you what, that team knows how to win, and they are good. They are talented. And of course, are backstopped by an incredible goalie, maybe the best ever, but it's not without sacrifice. And that was a great example of it last night.
Yeah, Steven Stamkos taking 5 shots off the ankle, going in the runway, coming back out, blocking another shot. Like, this is what you have to do. But let me ask you something, Mess, real quick. You've done so much, so many euphoric highs in your life, winning cups, being the man, doing this, doing that. But then you retire, and you're like, oh, okay. But, like, what makes you happy now? Like, when you retired, like, you got to, like, find that drive again. Like, you could do whatever the hell you want, but, like, what makes you happy again when you retired? I know it's kind of I'm not a journalist, just so you know.
He's like a psychologist,
I just
allegedly.
want to ask, I'm not a journalist. Well, go ahead. Sorry, Max. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I was never looking to replace hockey when I retired, and I think one of the things that I was fortunate to be able to identify very early in my career because of the people around me is I didn't identify myself as a hockey player. It wasn't my identity; it was what I did, and I loved it, and I loved every minute of it, and I put every ounce of my being into it for the years that I played, but it wasn't necessarily that I only identified myself with a hockey player. So when I was able to retire, I had this sense of self and about who I was and what I liked to do and all that kind of stuff. So when I retired, of course it was sad. It was I missed the game, all that kind of stuff, but I don't wish I was playing because I recognized right away that it's a young man's game and I couldn't play anymore, certainly at that level and be productive. Now I still go play shinny hockey and beer hockey, and just because I love to skate and I love the play of the game, but certainly couldn't play at that level. But more importantly than that is that when you do retire, if you're looking for that adrenaline, if you're looking for that kind of that those intangible things that make hockey and professional hockey so compelling there, you're going to be spinning your wheels there. So, I had a young family when I retired. Douglas was one or two. Jacqueline came a couple years later. So I immersed myself into raising a family and then of course all the hobbies and that I like to do and
like what hobbies you like to do?
Well, I'm a big game sport fisherman. I travel around looking for big marlin, tuna. I learned to fly, golf. I had a boutique hotel in the Bahamas. I got some startup companies that I'm doing, and just enough to stay busy, but enough to be present with the kids still, and make sure I got time to go hit the ball here and there.
You still have that hotel?
Where's that place in Bahamas?
Because your brother, I think, ran it, right? Do you still own that? Because I'd like to stay there, Mess, if we can work that out.
Yeah, you guys got to come down. Runaway Hill. Go to runawayhill.com. Have a look, and you'll see, guys.
Okay, we'll make that happen. Hey, listen, I wish they had Twitter, by the way, when you were playing in New York City, okay? They had like a Twitter.
That would have been good. Yeah.
yeah. Mess wishes that too, I'm sure.
Hey, but what was it like for your kids, man, growing up as Mark Messier's son? Like, and did you ever have to tell them, don't try to be me, don't worry about the pressure and whatever? And just like, was it ever not fun being Mark Messier? Was it ever too much, man, where you always had to be on, you always had to be smiling, and sometimes you just wanted to hide away and chill? Like, were you ever able to really do that?
Never. I never once did I feel it to be a burden for as a player and the success and the celebrity that came with it. I respected it. I never abused it. Loved every minute of it, and met some incredible people along the way. But my older son, who's now 35, who just got married, which is a beautiful wedding to a beautiful girl. Of course, he heard all the Messier stuff, and I'm sure it was hard for him at times. My younger boy, Douglas, 18, just graduated high school. Kind of lived through it through YouTube and watching tapes, and now knows it intimately of my story, but didn't witness it live. And of course, JJ, Jacqueline, my younger daughter, 16, same kind of thing. But so I think they got a healthy perspective on it now, and to me, they're not that impressed with what I did, to be honest with you. So
they don't care.
They don't give a shit.
No. And listen, I've got kids too. Listen, they don't. They're just.
Andy's kids love me, by the way.
Yeah, they watch the old highlights and they go, "Dad, you made 100 mistakes out there." I go, "No, I know. I was far from the best player. Don't worry. I know. I recognize it."
Is he like, what's with that Cooper helmet on? You love that Cooper, eh?
Yeah.
Well, the Cooper helmets, Jance will appreciate that. We used to kind of unscrew the screws a little bit on them, so they'd be sticking out. So when you got punched in the helmet there, it hurt their knuckles and the other guys.
Yeah, so I could break my knuckle on your helmet. Yeah, no, I get that.
No,
trust me. I don't blame you. I don't blame you on that.
Well, what happened to me is we thought Wayne Gretzky was really cool because I grew up wearing one of those CCM helmets. So then when I got turned pro and Wayne had this little Jofa helmet on, I thought that must be cool because he's wearing it. So I put that on and someone cross-checked me from behind in Minnesota. I turned around and threw my gloves off, and there standing in front of me is Willie Plett.
Ooh.
And by the time I dropped my gloves and reared back to take a punch, all I saw was a fist about the size of a boxing glove coming right between my eyes, and he hit me right in the forehead and cut me for 8 stitches right through the helmet. And the next day, we were going to we were going to Colorado, I think, and with the altitude, and I went and got one of those the wind well, which ended up being the wind well. I put the wind well on, but it was, the compression from the altitude was so tight on the cut.
Oh, my God.
I had to cut the foam out of the front there originally, but
oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Anyways.
God. Hey, listen,
a couple more for you,
and we're going to let you go, man. We appreciate it.
We got to let him go.
Pump up your book, man.
Yes.
I know originally when we talked, I know that book had just come out, I think, man. So let people know about the book, where they can get it, and how that's going.
Yeah, I've been asked to write a book for years, and I just didn't have the desire. I didn't know what I wanted to write about. I didn't know if anybody would be interested in reading a book that I wrote. Met Jimmy Roberts, the great Jimmy Roberts, and he had given me a book that he wrote called Breaking the Slump, about a golfer and the psychology that he goes through of when he gets off kilter a little bit, and the work that he has to go into to get himself back on track. And I was always interested in the psychology of the game and in performance and all that kind of stuff. And so I gave him these notes that I had prepared from speeches that I'd given, and on all different kinds of leadership, philosophy, all this stuff. And I said, would you be interested in doing something? And so he said yes. Best move I ever made. And tried to write a book about my experiences through a leadership lens that, can hopefully help, young boys or girls in position of leadership, or CEOs, or anybody else that's in charge of, managing people or inspiring people, because in the end, the most important part of leadership is being able to inspire the people around you. So hopefully that's the message that was in there.
Yeah. So go to Amazon. It's called No One Wins Alone. Hey, listen, how much money did you put on Messier to win the Kentucky Derby?
Oh, I put $500.
He kind of shit the bed, right? I mean, he didn't do too well in that race.
Well, he had great, DNA, and it's a really fast horse. But he had trouble finishing in the race prior to this. And I think, rightfully so, when he wasn't going to win that race, the jockey pulled him up.
Yeah.
But what an amazing experience that was. My dad's a big horse guy. So my dad followed it. Baffert sent him a sign. Pat Hughes, who I played with in Edmonton's relatives own the horse, and he kind of brought my dad into the story. And my dad was just, he just married to it for months, all the way leading up, and just to see my dad and how excited he was for the horse and all that was worth it. And but that was really a fun experience.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Hey,
all right,
Mess,
we're gonna let you
dude,
go.
Go do your thing, man. You're the best, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we appreciate it.
All the best, Mark. We'll be watching. Man. Enjoy the rest of the playoffs, and again, thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
Boy.
Great being on with you guys. Take care. Yeah, cheers.
The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC. Options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
All right, that was Mark Messier, man, here on the Cam Strick Podcast. He was unbelievable. He was great. We're so glad we had him on. And there's never a bad time to get a guest like him on. It's like whenever they come on is a great time, Cam, and it worked out perfectly. He's building a fence. He's a man of many talents.
Yeah, we got confused off the bat there, didn't we?
Yeah.
We're like, are you fencing? Like,
we thought he was like
fencing. You fencing people?
Because he looks like a fencer. Like he could put that little white outfit on.
You wear the bee mask and like hit people with the like non-pointy end.
Mm-hmm.
Because they put like a little ball in there. You're not even hurting anybody. I go, you're fencing. And then he's like, no, I'm making a fence. I go, don't you have some motherfucker doing that for you?
I know.
You know?
Cam thinks everybody's just a princess, Some people to do shit on their own. These guys grew up in he's
a good old boy from Edmonton. And yeah,
that's the way they do it out there.
Yeah, I'm one-dimensional. I can't build fences, and I ain't fencing nobody, but I can't build one. So you pay for people to do it. No, you can't though. You couldn't do shit. You're way worse than I am.
You know, I don't understand how
I'm two-dimensional.
My brain does not do certain things.
Yeah, I
like
know.
I can't read directions. Like I mean,
No,
you know, I
you're
can read
always
a
late.
map. No, I'm not. I'm saying like if a piece of furniture comes in a box and I have to like just buckle down. I mean, I really can do it, but it's not easy for me for some reason.
Yeah, I can't do it. I think everything that I can't do, you start saying that you can't do, but you probably really can do it. But I can't read directions. I can't fix things. I'm good at picking things up and walking in places and setting them down. I'm good at that.
I'm not very good at that.
You can't pick up much. But if Kate asks me to pick something up and take it to point A to point B, I'm like, yes, I could do that. But if she's like, can you draw this line out? And no.
Hey, Cam, in all seriousness, I've been having this severe pain from the outside of my knee all the way up to like the inside of my groin, dude. Like just aching, like throbbing pain. Like, what is that?
Herpes or something?
No, that's not. Doctor ruled that one out.
Yeah, you ain't getting herpes.
Is that a
no fear of herpes when you were young, or any sexual transmissions?
It's like a hip flex. I think it's like a groin. It's like a groin, like hip flexor or something. It's like I've had it for years.
You're not muscle bound. You don't have anything you do. Like you're probably straining your groin because you're skating and you don't work out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like who knows? Yeah. You're fragile. Yeah. You know, you've taken a beating over the years writing blogs. Your body's taking a beating.
Hey, I'd like you to start skating again, though, Cam.
I know. You and many others.
Seriously. Because once you stop... we're playing in the St. Louis Amateur Hockey Hall of Fame golf tournament coming up on the 13th. I got to come out and play at your course, dude. I need to play one time before we do that. And we got to
play with guys worse than me. I don't play with guys worse than me.
Oh, no, the two guys...
I don't play golf with people that are worse than me unless it's my wife.
Cam, the two people I'm bringing on board in our foursome are amazing golfers. So we're going to have some good-ass golfers.
I'm just letting you know. I like to play with guys that are good.
Well, you have no choice. You have to play on the 13th. Like, you're in on that. So you're in.
I'll play it. But I'm just saying. I'm not happy about playing with you.
I'm bringing some good golfers with us and whatever. And we'll have fun. What do you got going on over there for
I'm fucking barbecuing like
Memorial Day?
I'm fucking barbecue like a son of a bitch. It's beautiful out here in Missouri. I'm looking over greenery. People are there's a golf tournament going on. It's lovely. I got American flags flying in the wind, baby. I got little bunny rabbits and shit cruising around. The dogs are going crazy. I'm gonna goddamn barbecue. I'm gonna eat till I pass out.
I can't wait for my fast to end, Cam. In about an hour from now, I can eat for the first time today. Oh yeah, I've been fasting 16 hours a day.
You are though. Everything about you is just kind of
Cam,
like, God damn,
it's
dude.
very
what the
good
fuck
for
is
your.
Wrong with you?
It's very good for your system.
I get that. I know fasting, okay, but it's like
it's very good for your system.
You need to eat shit. You're little. You need to build up your fucking muscle a little bit, dude. You fasting. It's just like I don't know.
You shouldn't eat too late at night.
I get that.
I'm going back into the gym, dude. I told you I'm going back into the gym.
You gotta get your muscle a little bit like tightened up. Kind of sloppy in a way. And Andy, you got a good face. Your teeth are good. Your hair looks fine. You look good in interviews. But when you have a goddamn t-shirt on, and I'm like, motherfucker, build those goddamn arms up. Like Ty's arms are kind of like yours. And I feel like if you don't do it, he's not going to do it. And I worry about him. I need him to get strong. God damn, Andy. Do some fucking push-ups.
I do push-ups every day. Sets of 12 or maybe 15 or 20.
No, you don't, man. I bet you don't. I do them before my radio show at 5:50 in the morning. And I'll do sets of 50 and I'm fucking...
It's not good for you
and I'll
to do them every day.
I'll do 300. Yeah. You do different kinds every day. You're in close one day. You put your feet up the next day. You do this. God damn you.
Are you repairing that muscle?
Man, that's all I kind of do.
Listen, we need a sponsor. I need a post and pre-workout drink sponsor.
You need to do stuff first. You could buy all the fucking bullshit you want. You could buy all the fucking You need to do things first. Your body needs to crave that first because of doing shit. You could buy all that you want. I bought things, but you need to do stuff. You need to do your push-ups. You need to go fucking do shit. I know you hike and stuff, but you need to build your muscle up a little bit. You're hurting the brand.
I'm feeling pretty good right now, though, Cam. I gotta
look
admit,
young.
I'm in great shape.
You look young.
I'm in great shape.
Kate and I evaluate you every time you're on TV. Kate and I evaluate you.
What's her evaluation?
She thinks that you look awesome, but then I dig deeper.
Stop digging so deep.
And I dig deeper. No, you do look good. You look really good on TV, man. You really do. I look like dog shit. Well, I look like shit.
Did you have a new suit on the other day?
Oh, God, I look like shit. My stomach, I can't. I have to wear a belt, but then the belt tightens it too much. And I'm like, and then my fucking hair.
I wouldn't mind to see Connor McDavid, man, get to the Stanley Cup final and even win a Stanley Cup. It's kind of crazy, you know?
He could.
But
you never know. But
I
they
just don't see them beating
defensively.
Colorado.
No way. Not with.
What'd you think of the Blues losing with 3 seconds left, Cam? 5 seconds left.
It was horrible. I didn't watch any of that fucking game because I'm cruising around, shaking babies, kissing hands, damn it, dang. And I just kept, hey, happiness. And then, no. And then happiness. And then you're like, they just fucking scored it's over. It's over.
Yeah, I know. Just like that.
That sucked. That was like, I'd rather them lose in overtime, I guess.
Would you?
I don't know. Maybe not. It's just degrading.
It's just tough, man.
And then they got to take the face off.
Yeah.
You know.
It could have been different if Bennington hadn't gotten hurt, if the Blues had Torrey Krug, and I know Colorado lost.
If my aunt had my aunt had balls, she'd been my uncle. Yeah, we all know.
Yeah.
Maybe
maybe it would have been a little bit different. I really thought they were going to force
pretty good.
Yeah. And then you never know what can happen in a game 7. So, but Colorado, listen, they've been great all season long. And if you would have asked me midway through the season who is going to be in the conference final out of the Central Division, I would have said, well, Colorado, man, this seems like it's their year. So I'm going to stick with that. I said the winner of the St. Louis Colorado series would win the Stanley Cup. So I'm not going to change that right now. So
that's fine.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's fair.
All right. Listen, Mark Messier, he was fantastic. He was great. You'll see him a lot coming up on television, on ESPN throughout the next couple of rounds and whatever. So, he's had kids, been getting married and everything. I know everything that's going on with Mess now. We're very, very close. Okay. He's had kids who have gotten married recently. He's been very busy, Cam.
I know.
Fencing.
He's an awesome dude.
He's been fencing. He's doing a bunch of stuff. So he's got a lot of
Andy,
stuff going
again,
on.
I chirp you a lot, but we did good on this, man, to get these kind of guys. I just hope everybody really appreciates
I thought you did a good job on your interview with this, Cam. You did
get right out of town.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You did a very good job with it. You just did a good job.
Well, because look, let me explain something to all y'all. I ain't good at talking to GMs. I'm not good at unless it's Army, but like the what's his name? The Canadians one, good guy, Kent Hughes. I gotta be careful. Like with Mess, I get like what'd you do on that? I saw you score that. It's just different. You're good with the GMs and the owners more than I am, but we have to get those guys on, and that's a pimp thing to do.
Listen, I know he's been asked about Gretzky a million times and whatever, but I think some of the stuff he talked about, even Wayne, man, I just hadn't really heard him dive into like that.
I think he knew that, and he took care of us, man. I think people really like us. To be honest with you, Andy, I don't know. I think they really get comfortable with us in a good way, and we don't take advantage. But you ask hard questions, and I'll always like, what happened with that? Wait, what do you mean? So it just kind of works. But these guys are cool, man. They treat us good, Andy. We got to appreciate that. There's something that we do that they get comfortable with. Everybody asks. Now, here's what they say to me though. They're like, "How do you get them to say stuff?" I go, "What do you mean?" They go, "How do you get? We just shoot the shit." We're like, "Hi, what do you have to?" And they're like, "Hey, what's up?" And they just say what they want to say. It's not like we pressure anything with. It's just not the way it is.
It's not like, okay, Mark, talk about the time you and Gretzky played together.
No, we're like, hey, remember that time when you're like this, what about da-da-da-da-da? Or like, just like, what are you thinking when that? And he's like, fuck. He's like, yeah, God, this. Because I want people to ask me that too. Like, I love that. I like when they ask deep questions like, dude, were you like, fuck? I'm like, yeah, God.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
that's how you do
Mark
it.
Mark and I have a lot in common too. We connect
No,
on
you
a
don't.
number of different levels. So it was very easy conversation to have because of that.
Yeah.
He was very, very cool. So anyway, man,
Yeah,
I mean, all the other guests we have on now have a lot to live up to. I wouldn't want to be the guy coming up after Messier, unless you're Sonny, who was incredible.
His son, Doug. Yeah, he's awesome. But he was live, too.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Cam Strick Podcast. Again, check us out. All social channels. Send us some direct. My messages are open. My cameos are open, too.
Oh, I did a cameo today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. It was
For whom?
I'll give a little shout out right now because they listen to the fucking podcast. And I said, it's the guy to his brother has turned 21 and he's got a big nose and he's a bender, he skates like a giraffe. He wanted me to bash him. And I'm like, I'll do that, but I still want to be nice to the kid too. Like sometimes, I don't know. So I pumped his tires up at the end and I told him to go, don't do stupid shit. You're 21. Don't go because girls don't want you. A bunch of swinging dicks walking around, and you're
He should have reached out to me.
I'm letting you know. Like, if you want chicks tonight, homie, you can't be sloppy fucking drunk. You got to play it cool, and you got to balance it out so you can talk to chicks. Make sure your breath smells fucking good. Always have some gum or something. Remember, like when you're always have clear eyes. Keep your fucking eyes smoking back, and keep your goddamn eye. When you have red eyes, girls are like you're fucked up, so they don't want to make out with you. So just remember that shit.
Yeah, no, that's good advice, Cam.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you shared that.
No fucking bugs in your nose and shit. Like,
no,
be
just
fucking
make sure
prepped up, look good.
Yeah, and be respectful and be nice,
And always be nice to them.
Yes.
100%. You have to be nice. You can't.
Yes.
You can have a little swag, but just be sweet to them.
Yeah.
And act like you don't. Even if they don't talk to you, like, okay. And if you like that, I don't care. And then, right, Andy, let me talk to the folk.
Yeah. Hair Club brings us the Cam Strick Podcast again. Replace, restore, regrow that hair. Yeah.
Always have
helps. Replace, regrow, restore that hair. And 800-279-7878, baby. Go to hairclub.com/Cam Strick. And that's our landing page. And sign up for your consultation straight from there. You're going to sign it up from there. You're going to get $250 off. That's what we're doing for you. Memorial Day special. Hair Club and hairclub.com, baby. We love the support we get from our friends over there at Hair Club. 1,200 locations everywhere. So check it out and check it out today. Car Shield, baby. Make sure you tell the people, too. Make sure your car starts, Cam, too. You don't have any issues like that.
I mean, that's not. Your car doesn't start. You ain't doing goddamn thing. I don't care what you look like. Your car don't start. Like you're in a jam, homie.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, you're done. Dunzo. 800-857-2481. Mention that promo code CAM and you're going to save 10%. So do it and do it today. Car Shield. Get that protection. You never know when something's going to go down. Your car, your engine, your light, anything. Brakes. Just make sure you have that protection and get it now, please. Thank you. We love our friends over there at Car Shield. No question about that. Carshield.com as well. All right, Bellman and Bellman.com. Get yourselves a new ride. Get yourselves some new wheels in time for the summertime. They're waiting for you, and they're waiting now. And they are incredible in terms of what they're giving people for their used cars. They'll pay you more than Kelly Blue Book. Yeah. Don't let it just sit there in the garage or you don't know when's the right time to get rid of it. Now is the time to sell it. And they do financing, everything, man. Everybody's approved, Cam. No matter what your credit history is, your credit number, everybody is guaranteed to be approved.
That's nice, man.
Guaranteed approval. Yeah. You know what that means? Like everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So check that out. Bellman, baby, over there in Troy, Missouri. Buick GMC, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. I couldn't think of a better day to have a Jeep than today. So I may get one of those as well. Cam's looking for that pink Jeep 2-door small wheels. He's got flames on the side. It's okay. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge you.
Yeah. I need a shit kicker truck.
I like that Gladiator, dude. It's kind of half Jeep, half pickup.
I know you do, Andy.
Yeah.
I know
pretty cool. So I may.
Chloe's going to like it too when she turns 16.
Well, nah. It's kind of a boy Jeep. I mean, the girls can drive it too, but she like the Wrangler. Dude,
girls look cool in Jeeps at that age, man.
Oh,
young.
dude. They do the Jeep wave. You ever know if you're driving a Jeep and you see another Jeep?
It's like a motorcycle.
The horn.
Andy, I know. I saw the fucking slogan on the Jeeps.
Okay. Just want to make sure that's what you do.
Kind of nerdy. It's all good. It's all good.
All right. The Better Business Bureau.
Same thing.
Better Business Bureau. Check out Bellman on the BBB, baby. BBB.org. You know they've got A+ rating across the board. Check them out. Call Natasha. Call Chris. The best in the business. We love the Better Business Bureau because they treat us the way we want to be treated, and they let us know how to spend our money and how to be satisfied in life. You don't want to have any surprises, man. They say life is full of surprises. Put the cat away, Cam. I'm allergic to the cat. Put the cat down. Put the cat down. Precious. Nobody can see it, but he's got this cat. Oh, making my eyes itch.
She's 15 years old, homie. Look at her. She looks young, doesn't she?
She looks. Yeah, it looks.
Here go, kitty. That's Boo Boo.
Better Business Bureau, baby. And again, when you're spending your money on charities, man, make sure you're turning your good money into good money, not good money into bad money. Don't do that.
Yeah, I know.
And listen, they take care of you. They've been taking care of people for hundreds of years, and they'll continue to do that for you now. The Better Business Bureau, we love having them on board with us here on the Cam Strick Podcast, baby. How about Zero Life Pizza?
I'm hungry. Yeah. I'm hungry right now.
It's not a cheap meal when it's good for you, baby.
God.
75 grams of protein. Cam, actually, I'm thinking about it. The more I think about it, I may have it for my pre-workout and my post-workout.
You're going to work out then, dude. You can't just say, like, everything's like pre and post. You don't do the workout part. You pre and post shit, but you don't do the middle part.
At the Racket Club. I'm going to do that today at the Racket Club.
Oh, that's a party up there, I bet. Oh, they're getting after it.
Oh, I think there's a DJ there today, Cam.
Fucking badass. It's going to be badass.
Now, the kids can, like,
you'd have to pay me a lot of money.
The kids can dive in and get candy out of the pool.
That's a different thing. If the kids are having fun, that's all that matters. I get that part. But, like,
Cam, do you know that I won
ain't socializing up that
the club ping pong tournament?
What?
2 years back? I won the club ping pong tournament.
It's awesome.
Okay, and they've got some experienced players.
I bet. Dude.
When I was a kid,
they're really good.
I used to win the ping pong tournament when I was a kid. I'd be like 12 years old. I'd enter the men's division.
You're Forrest Gump.
And I'd win the tournament every year at 4th of July.
I know, I bet, dude. Chicks everywhere.
At the neighborhood pool when I was a kid. So check that out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Zero Life Carb Pizza. Zero Carb Life Pizza, Cam.
I'll eat the fuck out of it. I am starving.
Zero Carb Life.
I'm starving.
Listen, you got to use that promo code, though. People got to listen. You got to use the promo code Cam and Strick because then you're going to save the money. So Zero Carb Life. We love our friends over there. Cam, they're going to have it locally very, very soon as well. But right now you can just get it online. They are not shipping to Canada, I don't believe. I thought they were.
Yeah, people have been asking about that.
I don't believe they ship to Canada. Just call them and ask them. We'll figure out a way to get it to you. We're not going to say no. So we will figure out a way to get it to you for sure. Eating pizza doesn't have to be a cheap meal, Cam. We're taking the guilt and carb coma out and putting the comfort and joy back into eating pizza.
I'm starving.
Yeah, I got 30 minutes to go till my fast is over. Then I'm going to be all over this. So they've got the Cam and Strick discount code, baby. Check it out, zerocarblife.com, LYFE. And if you got time today, order those Mars Blade roller blades. Get those today and start working out. That's a good workout too, Cam. Can't I just put those on and skate around?
Yeah, honestly. I could only skate with a stick though. And I like to stick handle pucks, and all the cougs will be walking them dogs, and I'll be toe dragging them with no shirt on. And they're like, God, he's sexy as shit. And then, Kate's going to have to come by and just walk with me and stuff like that, which makes you even sexier when you had a cool chick by you too, So I'll be toe dragging.
Yeah. Huh? I got to tell people this real quick, getting back to Zero Carb Life, because I didn't know this. They're low carb, high protein chicken crust, Cam. Like the crust we were talking about. You build your own pizza. It's now in over 150 plus restaurants across the country.
Dang, boy.
And Jay, they just recently launched into retail with the frozen top pizzas So they have the direct to consumer side. They also have shipped to direct to 48 states.
Dang, boy.
So we want to get
cool.
these in your hands. Yeah, use that Cam Strick promo code. And Mars Blade, man, again, get those rollerblades. Austin Matthews is wheeling around on those right now.
Dragon Cougars. That's what you do.
With a Mickey Mouse Gucci T-shirt on. Okay,
I mean,
yeah, that's what he's doing. He's probably
he's
probably rollerblading over to Bieber's house or whatever.
He's toe dragging Cougars, and that's what you do because you look cool doing it. Everybody's like, if you're skating around toe dragging, you look athletic and sexy.
Yeah,
and Cougars are like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That guy looks.
I'll send you a video of what I'm going to do later on.
You'll be toe picking, falling into children.
Okay, hey, this has been Mark Messier.
Yeah.
I hope everyone had a great holiday weekend.
Man. Yeah.
Hope everyone had a great holiday weekend. And we appreciate Mark Messier for giving us time, man, and coming on the podcast for sure.
Good job for you.
We appreciate all the listeners, dude.
You did good on that.
Love the listeners. So enjoy this interview.
All y'all. We love you guys so much, and girls. We have a lot of women listening.
Yes, we do. 25%.
They love us. We love all y'all. We enjoy the weekend, although a lot of people probably don't have today off, but it is what it is. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. And go to Cam.
I just closed it.
Yeah. Oh no, I have to close it though.
Well, no, you just ruined it. Like that was a good close.
Go to camandstrick.com. Hey, give us that 5-star rating too, man, and follow us on all our social channels. Follow us on our individual channels as well as our podcast channels on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else. So anyway, adios.